Across the UK, online and on DAB.
We are Talk.
Talk Radio. Give it some lip.
Talk Radio.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Ash. Ian Lee. Since we last met, I've seen the new Beatles documentary, and we'll be dissecting it. Spoiler alert, 2 of them die at the end. 1 of them gets shot. Talk Radio.
Late night, Ian Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Hang on a minute. I need to reboot. Reboot. Hang on. Rebooting. And playing.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road is where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. There's a world that's waiting to unfold, a brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far but you know it won't be long. We're almost there and we paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll find what I call home. Until tomorrow, you know I'm free to roll.
There we go. We're playing that to state my Then it stops. I could edit that so that it wouldn't have that buzz at the end, but then how would we know we were alive? Without the buzzes at the end of songs, how would we know that we were alive and this wasn't just a facsimile of... speaking of facsimiles, facsimile is a word. Here, this is what we're going to do tonight. I remember this now. This is an actual phone-in topic, right? Because some of the squares want phone-in topics, and maybe that'll boost up our radars. So here's a phone-in topic. Words that people don't say anymore. And I don't mean like forsooth, but we'll put that on the list. Forsooth. Facsimile. No one says facsimile anymore. No one says it. No one says facsimile. And here, but here's the word. 0844 499 1000, by the way. You call us. You speak to Catherine. We call you back. I'm getting messages from all, I'm getting Danny Baker telling me messages about the monkeys. Oh, yeah. Here's the word that started it off, because I said this word out loud yesterday to my dog. A lot of talking to my dog and my cat, because there's no one in my house. Hasn't been for 2.5 weeks. There won't be till Saturday, right? And I said a word, and as I said that, I paused, and then I said it again. And then I said it again, and then I said it 4 times, right? And I thought to myself, and I said out loud, oh, I've not heard anyone say that word for a long time. Right. Do you know what the word was? Thirsty. No, but say it. Thirsty. When was the last time you said the word thirsty? In the 70s and the 80s, I seem to remember saying thirsty a lot. We were constantly thirsty because you couldn't buy drinks everywhere. Now it's like you get water everywhere, and everywhere's got a water dispenser, and everywhere, all this. But you go and buy water, and you go in a shop, and there's drinks everywhere. In the 70s and the 80s, you couldn't get drinks so freely. You got, and I don't want to do a nostalgia thing, but you got jubblies. Jubblies were like the sort of little pyramid-shaped things that you could freeze or you could drink as an orange juice. And you got slush puppies, but that would never quench a thirst. So in the 70s and 80s, and you weren't really at Capri Suns, and you weren't really allowed to buy Coca-Colas or Vimtos, or you weren't really allowed to buy those unless your mum was there with you, right? So for the 70s and the 80s, I remember being really, really thirsty. Just thirsty all the time. Thirsty all the time. I know some perverts are watching me while on Periscope while they're in bed. Well, that just makes me hard. Sick. Makes me sick. Makes you hard. Makes me sick. To think that there are people right now with engorgements watching this makes me sick, you deviants. Utter perverts. But the 0844 499 1000, the 70s and the 80s, a lot of us were thirsty, right? And nowadays, no one's ever thirsty, and you don't hear mums and dads say, you thirsty. They just say, do you want a drink? Evolution of the language. So that is, it's evolution of the language, because they're not thirsty, because you carry it. We got, with the boys, right? And you'll be the same, Catherine, with your children. Water bottles. Carry water, but if you're going out for the day, you carry water bottles. They didn't do that in the 70s and the 80s. Mums didn't bring drinks with them in a rucksack. And you could go all day without having a drink. And you'd be proper thirsty. And now, with the boys, as soon as we get in the car, do you want a drink? No. Okay. We get to where we're going. Do you have a drink? Have a drink, it's hot. Have a drink. I'm not. Have a drink. It's hot. You're gonna seriously. And do you want to drink? Constantly drinks all the time. So I said to my dog, "Are you thirsty?" And as I said it was like it's like that moment about 45 minutes in after you've taken the drug, and suddenly you say a word and trails comes out of your mouth. You don't do drugs, kids. But it was like that. And it was like thirsty. And I thought, boom, that is a killer topic. 2 topics in one, okay, for the squares that want topics. Words that we don't say anymore. And when was the last time you were thirsty? Now, bear with me. Because I've just got a feeling in the same way that the father of the Shags who spoke to a psychic and was told that his daughters would be in a world famous rock band. Didn't say they'd be any good at interviews or not, and that's fine. But he believed that. I've just got this vibe, this premonition that we are going to get one killer phone call telling us about the time they were thirsty. I've just got a feeling we are going to get a spot-on call. Right? We might get some rubbish ones. We might only get one call. But that one call, dear listener, is going to be worth it. If we were some Ponzi radio academy thing where they teach you how to do radio, we're going to teach you how to do phone-in radio. I've had lessons, right, when I joined the BBC, how to do phone-in radio. It's like, flipping it. Guys, I've been doing it for years. Going to teach you how to do phone-in radio. What you're looking for, they always do this, what you're looking for is the golden call. They use that phrase, the golden call. And it'll be the call that makes people when they finish their journeys in their cars. Oh yeah, of course we can do courses on that stuff if people want to give us $1. Take that call. Nigel from Maidstone's calling in. This shiz is about to get serious. They're looking for the golden call. It's the call that they'll be listening to in their car, and it'll make them stay in their car 5 minutes longer, or it will make them text. Here's the thing, radio teachers. All of my calls are golden. Have some of that. Have some of that. Saw the new Beatles film this evening. We'll be discussing that in great detail in a bit. But before that, we're about to blow a simple mind. Nigel!
Hello.
Have you been listening to the show recently?
No, I haven't, no.
Well...
But yes, I know all about what you... Yeah, it's on the internet.
You don't know what I'm about to play now?
Yes, I do.
No,
yes,
you don't.
I've been looking at it.
You don't know what I'm about to play now?
Yeah, the new jingle, the remix.
Of what?
The Nigel, Lindsay Lo-horn.
No.
Oh.
No.
With you in as well.
What?
The one you made that's on Facebook.
No, that's not what I'm about to play.
Oh, what are you going to play then?
It's the Iain Lee Show, the Iain Lee Show. It's the Iain Lee Show, the Iain Lee Show. Talk Radio UK. So come and join the gang tonight. Have a chat to Iain all night. It's the Iain Lee Show, the Iain Lee Show. Talk Radio UK. It's the Iain The Iain Lee Show, Talk Radio UK.
That's fantastic.
Isn't it?
Yes, and that's really me singing, is it?
Yeah, that's you singing.
Yes, it sounds very professional.
What it is a young man called Dan the DJ.
Yeah.
DJ Dan, we'll call him.
I've been contacting him, talking to him on Facebook, on private.
Well, do you know it's actually him? Because you also think you've been talking to Miley Cyrus and Lindsay Lo-horn.
Yes, anyway.
He has managed to get hold of us, and he's touched us up.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, Nigel. I reckon all you need to see you right for the rest of your life is one hit song. And you need to write that hit song. If you've got one hit song, right, you're sorted. You'll get royalties from it. Every time it gets on a compilation.
I was thinking...
Hello?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Dan can help me write it together.
Well... Hang on a second. Hang on a second, mate, because I think you'll find the Lindsay Lo-horn song.
Can you play that? Because I haven't heard it yet, because I can't get a signal.
You've not heard it?
No, because I can't get a signal all the time. It's difficult to get.
But first of all, we have to, just before, because I'm about to talk about how we're going to make a lot of money.
So it's just the two songs at the moment, is it?
Is
your
he
one and the
listening to
Lindsay
me?
Lo-horn one.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, then shut up.
Oh, okay.
We are going to make a lot of money, right?
Really?
Yo, mate, yes.
But not with the jingles.
Not with the jingles, mate. No, not with the jingles.
With a proper song.
With the proper song. Now, the Lindsay Lo-horn song was... You and I wrote that together. I think you'd agree.
Yeah, we sung it together over the air, didn't we?
So we wrote it together.
Yes.
And we give Dan a third because he kind of made you...
He remixed it.
He remixed it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a quick break, Nigel.
Yes.
When we come back, we're going to play that song, and then I'm going to tell you how we are going to make millions of pounds, and we will never have to work ever again. You up for it?
I'd love to.
Beautiful. So, Nigel.
Hello, Ian.
You have been phoning up Talk Radio for years and years and years and years and years, singing...
Talk Sport, you mean?
Yeah, well, whatever. It's good. Singing, let's be honest, piss poor songs. I mean, awful songs, right?
Songs that people have done before.
Yeah, they're all, no, and your original ones have been rubbish, right? But
you did hear my songs that are written for me, Nigel's Time and the Jingle, did
yeah, terrible stuff. And the songs that you wrote were terrible. Until, right, you needed a key to be inserted hard into your lock, right?
Mm.
And I am the key.
Yes.
And you are the lock. And I've unlocked you hard. You were stiff and rusty.
Mm.
And I unlocked you hard with my key.
Mm.
And together, we created great songs.
But those jingles are very good, those remixes.
Well, no, you're not really listening to a word I'm saying.
I am, of course I am. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Have a listen to this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Knocking one out, Lindsay Lo-horn, Lindsay Lo-horn, Lindsay Lo-horn. I'm doing my belt, watching Disney films. Lindsay Lo-horn, Lindsay Lo-horn.
I like Lindsay Lo-horn. I like Lindsay Lo-horn. She does a lot of acting in film today. She's a girl. Lindsay Lo-horn, Lindsay Lo-horn. Disney film today. Lindsay Lo-horn, Lindsay Lo-horn. She's a nice girl. Lindsay Lo-horn, Lindsay Lo-horn. She's a nice girl. She does some singing, she does some good. She does some singing, she does some good. She does some singing, she does some good. She does some singing, she does some good.
Knocking one out, Lindsay Lo-horn, Lindsay Lo-horn, Lindsay Lo-horn. I'm doing my belt, watching Disney films. Lindsay Lo-horn, Lindsay Lo-horn. Knocking one out, Lindsay Lo-horn, Lindsay Lo-horn, Lindsay Lo-horn. I'm doing my belt, watching Disney films.
I feel like I'm Paul McCartney and you're John Lennon and we've just listened
Can you
to...
play again?
Oh, no.
That's very catchy, isn't it?
Isn't it catchy, Nigel?
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't do any better, really, could you?
Well, not with... No.
Well, there's a lot more of you singing than me, though, isn't there?
Well...
But you're not planning on making yourself a star, are you?
So, what? No.
As a singer?
No, we're going to be stars together, Nigel.
Yeah, all together, yeah.
So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking two things. First of
It'd be
all...
lovely to do it on TV, wouldn't it, as well?
Wouldn't it just...
Like, somewhere.
I'll have a word with the... You know, I was on the Saturday show with Gabby
I
Rosa.
saw you on Saturday morning.
I'll have a word. Maybe we could go and perform it on there.
Yeah, I'm only 40 minutes on the train, so it's not too bad.
Oh, and that's generally how they book their guests, is on the time it takes them to get to the studio, so that'll be fine. Here's what I'm thinking. Two things.
Yes, right.
First of all, we're going to record a song tonight, you and me. Right? We're just going to make one up, and Dan will be listening, and Dan will mix
right
it.
now?
Yeah.
Oh, blimey.
Oh, blimey. And that's what it's
But
called.
The thing is,
Hang on.
when he remixes it, it sounds better than the original, doesn't it?
Yeah. And it's going to be called All Blimey.
Oh.
And then, Nigel, can I come to your house one day to record some songs?
Of course, yeah. I did ask Dan that on the private. He's welcome to come and have a look at
Well,
me
Dan
drums.
doesn't want to come, and I think it would be inappropriate because he's a young man and sexually naive. Whereas I'm a professional sex man. I've seen everything, and I reckon if you went for me, Nigel, I reckon I could probably pull you off.
Sorry, say that again.
If you attacked me, Nigel, I could probably pull you off.
Yeah, well, I don't attack people. I never do.
But I might pull you off anyway.
What, you think I'm gay? It doesn't matter anyway.
It doesn't matter these days. Now it's legal.
No, it doesn't matter. My mum said it doesn't matter these days. There's so many of them about.
There's so many of them about.
But I like women more. Anyway.
Okay. Well,
I prefer. I'm more attracted to women than I am men. But I like men's company.
You like men's what?
I like men's company.
I'm glad you put the second and third syllables of that word on there. Otherwise, it could have been a whole different.
All my best friends were men, anyway.
Well, okay.
No, literally.
Yeah, literally. So here's what we're going to do, Nigel.
Sorry.
We're gonna make a song up in a minute, but what I need you to do, right, is Kathy's going to take your phone number and your address, right?
Right. And
I might send Kath around first on a reconnaissance.
But, look, I won't say it over the air, my address.
No, say it private. But if Kath came over to your house, would that be okay?
Yeah, it wouldn't be straight away, would it?
It wouldn't be tonight.
It wouldn't be for a few days.
No, it'd probably be next week or the week after. We'll sort it out. We'll sort it out. It won't be a surprise. We'll sort it out, right?
Yeah, no worries about that. But my mum's, don't forget, I look after my mum who's 86.
Okay.
And she'd probably have to stay in the front room while we was busy in the bedroom, recording or whatever. Yeah. That's
okay. All right. Well, we'll sort that out. Can I bring my friend Simon round to film it as well?
What is it? What, a TV man, is it?
Well, it'll be for the internet, man.
Oh yeah, to put on Facebook. Yeah, sure,
right.
that will be okay.
All right, hang on a minute. Let's. We're really throwing everything into the mix now.
Yeah, no worries.
Hang on a minute, Alan.
Hip hip hip.
Do you want to be in a song with me and Nigel?
Really, I would love to be in a song.
All right, Alan. I'll tell you what we're going to do. This is how easy it is to write a song these days. Yeah. Alan.
Yeah.
You start singing, then Nigel's going to join in, then I'm going to join in. Away you go.
It's Tuesday night, the fun begins. Iain Lee's here again. 10 to 1, we'll take your calls. Anything happens, anything goes.
Nigel,
Iain Lee Show, come and join the gang tonight. Iain Lee Show, listen to the show tonight.
Nigel and Alan are massive plums. Listen to them, they're massive plums. Nigel and Alan are massive plums. I'm gonna punch them both in the face.
Iain Lee, he's a man to be. Cav and Edward, you see. They take the calls, they screen them all. If they don't like them, then off they go.
Right.
Nigel, do you want to finish? Nigel, we need a big catchy sing-along chorus that everyone can join in with.
You sure this is going to be good enough?
Well, they can cut. He can cut Alan's bits out if it's that pony. Go on.
Pardon?
Go on.
Cut his bits off. Sorry. Yeah. Hello.
You need to do a catchy chorus, Nigel.
Yeah. Right. So it'll be. Let me see now.
You probably know what the tune is, as your tunes are quite...
It's a great show, the Iain Lee Show. It's a great show, the Iain Lee Show. Yeah.
Yep.
Guys, we've probably just made £1 million each. How awesome is that?
I know.
Oh, we just wrote a song. I can feel the creative juices flowing all over my body. I feel...
It's difficult to do, isn't it, when you're not together in the same room?
It is hard to write a song, but we've done...
Lennon McCartney, eat your heart out.
Who?
Lennon McCartney, eat your heart out.
Lennon and McCartney can kiss this. There's Lennon, there's McCartney. Have it.
have to download those things, download them onto CD.
Yeah, you do. Well, listen, Nigel, I'm going to pass you back to Katherine. You're going to give her your address, and I'll give you a call next week when I know what...
You'll be coming to see me, Iain.
I will come and see you, but I will give you plenty of notice, so don't...
Well, you can come as soon as you want, really.
I'm busy now.
Oh, okay.
It'll be next week or the week after, all right?
Sure, yeah. No,
I'll let you know, Nigel.
But they're very good, what you've done so far. They're very good.
Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Catherine, if you could speak to Nigel and get his details. This is happening, Alan.
I know.
This is happening.
I know, it looks good.
I don't know how powerful auto-tune is, Alan, so just be prepared that, the effects on your voice may mean that you get cut out, but don't matter. More money for me.
To it.
You're exactly. You've been in the Observer, for crying out loud.
No one can top that.
Alan, stay there. I'm going to come to you after this. Wow. I've just seen Paul Akinbola's coming on shortly, and he sent me an email. We'll go through the email in a minute. 0844 499 1000 if you want to call in. Alan, we're only 30 minutes into the show and we've crammed so much in already.
I know. They just started.
We've only just begun. White lady down. A kiss for luck and we're on our way. And yes, we've just begun. What, you got for us, Caddick?
Last time I was thirsty.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Told you, this is a great topic. When was the last time you were thirsty, Alan?
2 hours ago.
Oh.
And I had a nice cup of tea.
Tea is not a thirst quencher. Tea can make me thirstier.
Oh, with me, it's usually coffee.
I would. For me, it's water or juice to quench the thirst. Sometimes, though, a cup of tea, he said, looking at his team, just hits the spot.
Yeah. How many sugars do you have in it?
I don't have any sugars. Don't look like I have any teas in it either. The way this conversation's panning out. But but did you say? The thing is, though, Alan, you wouldn't have said, "Oh, I'm thirsty. I'm going to have a cup of tea." You would have just had a cup of tea.
Or I could have a can of lilt.
Oh, pineapple and grapefruit.
Lilt.
Totally tropical.
Lilt.
I've got a big bottle of 7-Up in my fridge, right? And the reason I've got a big bottle of 7-Up in my fridge is because on Saturday, I think it was, it was Saturday, I decided to order a Chinese meal, right?
Yeah.
Now, the only Chinese restaurant near me that delivers, right, it was a minimum spend of 30 quid, and that didn't include the £4 delivery fee. So I had to spend 34 quid.
Oh, boy.
And it was a rip-off, right? And it came 40 minutes late, and I chucked most of it in the bin. It wasn't very tasty. But 0844 499 1000, by the way, if you want to call him. But to up the price, I bought a big bottle of 7-Up.
Yeah.
I had one glass of it. It was very refreshing. But now I've got a big bottle of 7-Up in the fridge that I know is never going to be drunk.
What about giving it to the boys?
Well, they're not here. The thing about the boys come back on Saturday, right, and it'll be flat by then. But the thing about the boys is they don't really know about fizzy pop. Yeah, we've managed to keep fizzy pop a secret from them. If I have a little bit of Coca-Cola, I'll say it's Daddy's medicine, and it's not very tasty. But they've tried lemonade and they don't like it.
Oh dear.
No, this is oh dear, because it means that bottle of 7-Up is going to get chucked. But it's good news for their teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go them up for sweets and it'll be even better.
Exactly. They don't really eat sweets, my boys. They do like eating all different kinds of bits and pieces. Well, they do like eating sweets. That's a stupid thing to say, and I retract it immediately. But they don't gorge themselves on sweets. The funniest thing, right, is we keep any chocolate we keep it on top of the cupboards in the kitchen, right? And the funniest thing is sometimes I walk in the kitchen and I just see one of the boys climbing down off of the work surface. I say, what you doing? Nothing. What you standing on the work surface for? Reaching up to the that cupboard that's got chocolate? Nothing. What's in your hand? Nothing. Let's have a look. Oh, it's a bit of chocolate. You've been stealing a bit of chocolate. And then what I do, Alan, is I take the chocolate off them and I eat it slowly in front of them and then I smack their bottoms and I send them to bed.
Oh, dear.
Proper parenting, Alan. You can't... Never did me any harm.
And in this PC world, you're not allowed to do that.
Smack them. Well, the thing is, you are allowed to smack your children. Here's the thing. You're allowed to smack your children. You're just not allowed to leave a mark. That's the law.
But how can you smack them and not leave a mark?
Hey! That's what I'm talking about. Caddick has got his finger on the pulse and his hand on a big red bruise on a child's buttock. That's right, Alan. If you're smacking them properly, you have to leave a mark.
Yeah, I've had many a beating myself when I was younger.
Thanks for calling, Alan.
Thank you.
I'm joking, of course. Yeah, you can smack kids, but you're not allowed to leave a mark. That's the law, isn't it? That's the law. Don't smack my children at all. I can't... I know I can imagine smacking them sometimes, because sometimes they are right little so-and-sos, and they get right on my wick. But I used to get smacked a lot. 0844 499 1000. I've said this before. I used to be a biter, and I would bite my sister a lot, man, a lot. She was annoying. And the final straw for my mother was I bit my cat's paw at the top of the stairs. I bit his paw. I got his arm and went, is it an arm? Are the front one's arms and the back one's legs? Are they? I'm going to call it an arm until we get a vet on the line to tell me otherwise. I'm going to keep talking in the hope that Paul puts his phone down. And I bit its paw, and then I chucked him down the stairs. Toby, bless him. And my mum said, Ian, why did... Someone's saying, please, do not smack a child. Talk to them. Educate. And if that don't work, give them a wallop. And my mum said, why did you bite the cat? Why did you bite Toby? And I said, well, he put his paw in my mouth. Excellent answer. And what my mum did to stop me biting is she rolled up... It was this arm, my right arm. She rolled up the sleeve and got my forearm, and she put her hand either side of my forearm, and she bit me, and she bit me hard, and she left tooth marks. There's still a scar there. Can you see that mark there? There's still a scar there. Just that little scar there, where she bit me quite severely. And I never bit again. I didn't even bite food for about 3 months. It got a little bit, in the head. It was a bit screwy. But it never did me any harm. Apart from the scar and the psychological trauma it induced. Apart from that, never did me any harm whatsoever. 0844 499 1000. Paul Akinbola, stay there, come to you after this. Everybody is welcome on this show. You know that, guys. Apart from the fruitcake who set up multiple Twitter accounts and then pretended to kill themselves. That person's not. Everyone else is. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. You call us, we call you back. It's a drop-in centre for the lost, the lonely, the bewildered, the battered, the bruised, the heartbroken, the sad. Sad. As you've heard, for the first four, we've only done 40 minutes of radio so far. It feels like we've done about 3 hours worth. We've crammed a lot in. Anyway, got an email from Paul Akinbola, who's coming on next, right? And this is what his email says. Ian, when you can go to the Talk Radio website, talkradio.co.uk, and email there. Ian, when my music career and my media company takes off, I would like to buy a mansion as a second house while owning my mum's house. Beautiful. What a great plan. The pool in my ideal mansion would have visits from tanned, hunky men in Speedos. What? The ident of the future Man O' Man channel would have a scene of a man diving into the mansion and coming out of its edge, where a number of very likely beachwear-clad people are sunbathing. I don't understand that. Luckily, whenever I get an email from Paul Akinbola, I know that a few minutes later, he's going to call in. And that's exactly what he's done. Evening, Paul.
Hello.
Explain this email to me, Paul. It sounds bizarre.
Yes. The pool in the mansion and the idents for my man is inspired by Kylie Minogue videos for Slow.
Yes.
Do you remember the Kylie video for Slow?
Do I remember the what?
Kylie Minogue video for Slow.
I remember Kylie Minogue, yes.
Slow.
I don't know what that word is you're saying. Slow. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Is that the one where she's in the gold hot pants?
And then the Slow 2000.
I'm not that familiar with Kylie Minogue's videos. I know she did one with Nick Cave where they were making love in a field, and that's it, I'm afraid.
Well, good. I replied to take a apprenticeship at a television company.
Yeah.
I hope it goes further.
Yeah.
Once I have lots of money, I would like to invent a real time machine so you can travel back back in time, and also travel back in time to see what would have happened.
And that's the only thing that's stopping scientists inventing a time machine, you're right, is money. It's lack of funds. If they had the money, then time travel is, of course, possible. Remind me, dear listener, when I finish with Paul, I'm going to tell you my brilliant idea for a time travel movie. No, that is a brilliant idea. Kath's saying no, because Kath knows what it is. I mean, it's a little bit offensive, but I think it would be awesome. I'll couch it in slightly friendlier language than I did when I was told you as we were walking down Oxford Street. Anyway, Paul, continuez-vous, s'il vous plaît?
Well, the real time machine will, once the real time machine goes, I will travel back to what would have happened had Thames TV, the lost franchise cartoon.
Yes.
Thames TV.
Yes. So
Yes,
when Thames TV lost its franchise, hang on a minute, you're going to invent a time machine so that you can go back to just before Thames TV lost their franchise to Carlton? That's quite of all the periods in history, Paul, that you could go back to.
I want to go back into the mid-90s that had Sky bought Thames Sky bought Thames post IT franchise era. Sky would have able to become a leader player in home visual production.
Yeah. Would you not want to go back to the 1960s or the time of Henry VIII or the dinosaur? You'd want to go back to the mid-90s?
Yeah.
Wow.
Has Sky bought Thames after IT...
Is this... Now, let me get this right, Paul. Are you going back to before the Squarials?
In real time machine, we excluded a dangerous period.
Okay, so I just want to know, is this before BSB link up with Sky?
Yeah.
So there's so the Squarials are a separate thing?
I was born in 1992. I'm 23. I was born on the year that the Big Brothers came along.
Okay.
Well,
yes.
Had Sky bought Thames after Thames TV lost its IT franchise, then Sky would have become a leader playing visual production, and they'll take his LTG stake in each of the bar.
All right, Paul. Listen, Paul. Listen. I appreciate your call. I appreciate you telling us exactly where you're going to go back in time. Let's continue this conversation. You've left us on a what do they call it? A cliffhanger. That's the phrase, isn't it? So let's leave it on a cliffhanger, and we can continue this story maybe tomorrow or the day after. How's about that?
Do you know the music channel, The Box?
I do know The Box. Yeah, you used to be able to text in a number, and it would play the song for you.
Television you control. Yeah. It had this guy own Thames TV.
Yes.
And there was own stake in a box.
Okay. All right, Paul. Listen, thank you. I used to enjoy The Box. Me and my friends would. If you typed in the number, it would come up on the screen and it would play the song. And me and my friends would just constantly type in 666, the sign of the devil. Oh. Yes, Jules. Type it on the screen, please. Never whisper in the ear, for goodness sakes, guys. It throws me off completely. Yes, Jules. Oh, yes, Jules.
Sorry, last night I done the F-bomb.
What?
I done the F-bomb last night, sorry, when I was talking to you.
What? Oh, well, yeah, well, don't do it again.
No, I won't do, I promise.
Okay, what have you got for us?
Just thinking today and that, and think about the old stuff you used to watch when you were kids and that.
Yes.
The old programmes and...
Whoa, hang on a minute. You're not... Hang on, what did you just say?
The old programmes.
Yeah.
That we used to watch, not together, obviously, but we used to watch.
Yeah. Okay, well... yeah.
No, I'm just thinking, we're the same sort of age, you're 43?
Yes, I'm 43, yes.
I'm 45.
Okay.
So, same sort of era. So, Mr. Ben?
What?
Mr. Ben?
Yeah, are we doing old kids' TV shows from the 70s and the 80s?
Yeah, just saying, do you remember them and all that?
Yes, I do.
Pipkins?
Yes, I remember that. Hartley Hare, yeah.
Was he scary or what?
Nope.
He wasn't scary?
Nope, he was a rabbit.
It was a hare.
What's the difference between a rabbit and a hare? Is it just the size of the ears? No, that's a genuine question. Don't hares have bigger ears?
They do, but yeah, and they're a lot faster, and they still live in Warren.
So Jules, you laughed at me for asking if the difference between a rabbit and a hare is the fact that hares have bigger ears, and then you said, but yeah, that is the difference.
Yeah, it probably is, yeah. Sorry about that, mate.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is, mate, you say you on your day off or on your holiday.
Yes.
You're going to play, was it Doom?
Yes.
Was it on the Xbox One or the PS4?
Xbox One.
Right. Now, what I was going to ask you...
Yes, sir!
Are you going to get Battlefield 1?
I don't know. But if I can get it for free, yes.
You've minted anyway. You can get it... Come on.
What do you mean?
Well, have you seen
what?
the stuff on TV about it? It looks nuts.
No. I don't really watch TV.
No, all right, on YouTube.
No, I've not seen it.
Oh, it's cool.
All right.
And what I was going to ask before you cut me off last time, which was my fault because I had it coming through my phone, was the film ring thing.
Yes.
What is it about? Because honestly, I honestly don't know what it's about, and I might like to get involved in it.
In what way would you like to get involved in it?
I'd like to come to my film ring.
Well, we haven't got any more lined up yet, and I don't know if we're going to do any more film rings. I don't know. Because, the one on Sunday night was so perfect and so spot on.
Yeah.
That I don't know how... The only way to top it, right, would be to not try and top it. And to do something completely different for it.
So is it, you pick a film out and then people come around and obviously not in your house, but it was a comedy store it was, but you watch it and then talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, well, the way it works in the radio is I would find a film, generally, I think we've done it twice, and they've both been obscure documentaries. And I've said, right, everyone, you've got 2 weeks to watch this documentary, and then in 2 weeks' time, on this night, on the radio, we're going to talk about it. And then what I would do is I would get a guest, someone who was either in the film, or someone who had directed or written, played an integral part in the film, and then we would talk about it. Now, the event on Sunday was a spin-off from that. We'd all watched a film called Kung Fu Elliot, a really good documentary that's on Netflix. Right. And it's about this guy called Elliot Scott, who lives in Canada and makes his own karate films. Well, I managed to source one of his karate films, and we showed that film, and then we had the director of the Kung Fu Elliot documentary on Skype, and we did a Q&A with him, and then there were a couple of surprise guests in that we had Blake, who's also in Kung Fu Elliot, and I managed to get hold of Elliot Scott himself, and we called up Elliot live from this room at the back of a pub in just off Essex Road in London. And it was good. And 100 people came, and it was wonderful, and everyone was delightful and beautiful and wonderful. And me and Kath are just wondering if we do another one, how would we do it? Because that night was so special, and we managed to pull so many surprises out from our sleeves that to do it again, we'd have to do something completely different.
Must take a lot of organisation and that.
Nah.
No?
No, I got in touch. I got in touch with the venue, hired their room, sent some emails, and then got a bit lucky. And that was it. Got a bit lucky.
Right. Okay. Last thing. Right.
Yes, sir.
You like your podcast, yeah?
I don't really listen to podcasts.
But do you like true crime podcasts?
No, crime podcasts.
Oh well, this really good one called Untold Daniel Morgan murder.
Oh yeah, what's that about?
Well, it's about Daniel Morgan getting murdered, basically, but it's all about the conspiracy with the police in the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s, and also it's about what brought out the thing about the phone hacking.
Yeah,
it's really, really good, mate.
Well, I probably won't check it out. I don't really. The thing is, here's the problem I have, Jules, and you may not understand this, but I'm sure that one or two of my listeners might, right? There is so much stuff in the world, right, in terms of music and films and video games and podcasts. Let's just settle with those few categories, right? There are so many. All right, I've had the last week off, right, and my family is still away. And I thought, I'd like to play some video games. But the problem that has crippled me for years is I sit there and think, oh, God, there are so many video games, and I've got quite a lot of them, but like tiny percentage.
You don't get to play them.
I don't, and I just don't. I sit there and go, right, I want to play this. No, I don't. I want to play that. Oh, God, I don't know what I want to play. I'll sit here and do nothing. And so I sit there and I do nothing. And I'm 43. It's a big realisation I made again this week. I'm literally wishing my life away. I'm wishing my life away. And I know, because the theory of relativity, we get, as the older we get, the shorter time gets. Next time I open my eyes, I'm going to be 75 on my deathbed.
Tell me about it.
It's going to happen.
I'm 45 now, and like my girlfriend was saying, in 5 years' time you're going to be 50, and it's like, Jesus Christ, sort of thing, But I'm still playing video games as well, but I don't get the time either. I'm sitting down watching my kids playing bloody Minecraft.
Do you remember when you were 24?
Yeah.
17. You were 17. Do you remember that?
I remember we'd been 18, and I went into a pub, and the landlord said to me, I can't believe you've been drinking in here for 2 years.
Oh, yeah, that was the big thing. Everyone would go and have their 18th birthday parties in pubs that they'd been drinking in for 2 or 3 years. Yeah, no, I did. We used to, there were, 15, we used to go to pubs and stuff, and also, because I was tall, I was the one that would get sent to the off-licence at the age of 15.
Yeah.
And fun times, man. Fun times. Not fun. Well, it was fun, but a lot of it was quite dark.
It was fun.
Some of it was fun. Some of it was dark, but some of it was fun, yeah. Jules, always nice to talk to you, man.
All right, mate. See you later.
Take care. Bye-bye. One tip I've got for Jules. Thank you, Kev. One tip I've got for Jules. You don't need to try so hard. Once we got rid of the kind of the topics at the start of the phone conversation, we had a nice chat. So you don't need to try so hard. I'm literally overwhelmed by the amount of music there is, and the amount of podcasts and video games are the one for me. So, because I want to listen to a podcast, right, but I don't know where to start, because there are some great ones. Adam Buxton, Richard Herring, Josie Long, there's an almost infinite number. Almost infinite. What an idiot. There's a rapidly growing number of, probably 100 podcasts have been launched somewhere around the world since we started the show. Right. Yes, this is Call In on Periscope. 08444991000. We call you back. JJ, stay. I'm going to come to you after the news, because we've only got a minute, and I'll give you a fair crack of the whip. And so instead of diving into a podcast, I won't listen to any, because there's too many. Does that make sense? I'm explaining it bad. I'm explaining the psychology behind it badly, but it happens. And the same with video games. I've got all these video games, and I get given a few because of the job I do, right? I get given download codes now, and I've got sent some video. I've got all these games. And I'm overwhelmed by the amount of games there are that I won't try a new game. And instead I go and play Halo Wars, which is a game which is 13 years old. And I go and play that. Go and play that again. Again. And the game is always the same. Either I thrash someone or someone thrashes me. And it just seems that there is so much stuff, noise, static in the world. Man alive. I've been worrying about this show and about the takeover and the figures and all of this stuff, right, that we kind of get caught up in. And I probably worry more than other people do about these things, right? And things will either be all right or they won't be all right. Those are the two options. But because I've got Facebook and Twitter in my pocket, I can see other people talking about it. And I then kind of get sucked into this whole thing. And I just think if there were no screens, no lights, no notifications, life would be a whole lot easier, wouldn't it? 0844 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
Talk Radio.
JJ, you've been waiting for a while. I will come to you straight after the news, I promise. 0844 499 1000. Remind me, we want to talk about the Beatles film. Oh, yeah, the letter I got from New Zealand as well. Boy, oh boy, that was... Your people are good people, Id. They're good folk.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Well, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with fire up. I've never been with anything less than a 9. So fine, I've been on fire with Sally Field, gone past with a girl named Bo, but somehow they just don't end up as mine. It's a death-defying life I lead. I take my chances. I die for living in the movies and TV. But the hardest thing I ever do is watch my leading ladies kiss some other guy while I'm bandaging my knee. I might fall from a tall building, I might roll a brand new car, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that made Redford such a star. I've never spent much time in school, but I taught ladies plenty. It's true, I hire my body out for pay. Hey, I've gotten burned over Cheryl Teague's, blown up for Raquel Welch. But when I wind up in the hay, it's only hay. Hey, I might jump an open drawbridge or Tarzan from a vine, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that makes Eastwood look so fine.
Oh, I disguised a yawn quite nicely there with that singing there. JJ!
Yes, Ian. Wagwan selector.
Wagwan! Everybody say, Bo selector!
Indeed.
Indeedly doodly. Yes?
JJ, yeah.
JJ Burnell from the bass player. Let's make a list of famous JJs. I'll go first. JJ Burnell, bass player from the Stranglers.
JJ Double, caller to Iain Lee.
Ooh, I like your style. Okay, hang on a second. JJ. Yeah, that's it.
You ain't got no more, innit? You ain't got no more.
Yeah, I ain't got no more, mate. We ain't got no more. Boom. JJ Abrams. Boom, shakalak. JJ Abrams, creator of Lost and the Star Trek rebooted franchise.
Wow. What about JJ Sports, innit? JJB Sports.
Yeah, he's got me. He's good. This guy's good. Hang on a second. I'm not cheating, Periscopers. I just happen to be looking, and some of the Periscopers happen to be suggesting more JJs. But that'll do. What have you got for us, JJ?
I got some questions. I got some things I want to talk about.
Beautiful.
But firstly, just want to say so happy to have found you again. Long-time fan, long-time listener from LBC, Absolute, whatever, Virgin, Pocket Radio Show, all of them things. Loved it all. But now this is proper you. You're doing the right thing now. You're back where you need to be.
We're back where we need to be on a low-rating late-night phoning show.
Don't watch that, bruv, innit? Soon time, it's going to be big ratings, innit? Big things coming.
I hope so.
George, you're a fanny.
Watch it, Galloway. Well, I'm glad you found me, JJ. It's good. It's good to have you back. It felt like something wasn't quite right, and I realised it was because you weren't listening. But now you've rediscovered me. Everything is groovy.
Bless you, man.
Bless you.
Hip, hip, hip.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Hip, 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 innit? That's
hip, 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 hip. That's what we say.
Indeed. So, digging it all, catching up on the podcast, all of that stuff. So, we'll leave that to the one side.
Thank you.
Question for you, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Right. So, I was listening to a podcast recently where you were talking about your driving antics, yeah, and how you got points and things, right?
Oh, I got points and things. I'm a bad driver, man. I'm not bragging, genuinely.
Happens to everyone. I have to say everyone. But listen, what do you think about these automatic driving cars? Like
robot cars? Robocars?
Tesla, yeah, that thing.
That thing, said he. That was okay. I think it's brilliant. Yeah, let's get some robocar. I'd love to have a sleep in the back of a robocar while it drives. So how does it work, JJ? You get in the car and go, take me to work, and then you press enter, and then it just drives you there.
Yeah, that's it. Pretty much.
I'm in.
But it's like, it'll be so weird, like sitting there and the thing's it's like, I get paranoid when my missus is driving, right? Yeah. And I'm sitting in the passenger seat. Let alone if I'm sitting there and something else is driving, it's like, I'm going to be like, what's going on? You know what I mean?
But once it will be weird for I reckon it'll be weird for the first 3 journeys.
Yeah.
And then once you kind of the novelty would wear off quite quickly, right? And it would be fine until someone got killed by one.
But do you know what happened recently? Have you heard about that thing that happened in the States?
Someone got killed by one.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, but wasn't it the person that got killed wasn't in a driverless car, and it was a car that someone was driving crashed into a driverless car.
It was, from what I understand, of course. Yeah,
of course.
He was in this driverless car. He was watching Harry Potter on his tablet.
Wow.
And then a white truck, sort of crossed the highway, and because it was white, the computer car could not tell the difference between the sun and the truck. So bang, things happened, didn't it?
That is a big flaw. If the computer car thinks that a white vehicle is the sun, and it drives straight into it.
Again, I'll qualify this by saying this is what I heard. Yeah. So,
what if the car actually drove into the sun?
That would be. Well, you burn, innit? You burn.
Well, you would burn. Bad.
Yeah.
Bad
don't
burn.
Want that. But this is the thing.
No,
this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it'll be all fine, and then you'll be through first journey, second journey. You're just going to work and back. Yeah, cool. And then as soon as you get comfortable and relaxed, and you're just sitting there watching your tablets or
your Harry Potter,
your Harry Potters, bang.
The thing is, right? You'd have to have a day where all of the cars became robocars. You couldn't mix. You'd have to make sure that robocars could see white.
True that.
That is very true. Thank you. And then you'd have to take away all of the random thing, and we are the random element. So you'd have to have a day, and you'd say right, it's going to be September the 3rd, right, which is a Saturday, so it's a really good day to try it. Saturday, September the 3rd, you have to have a robocar, and no other cars will be allowed on the road. Then you're in.
Yeah, you're true, you're right, but you've got a long way to go, man.
Well, no, we've got about just under 2 weeks. So it's not that long to go, man.
Well, I better get him. What do I do? I haven't got a computer car.
You won't be allowed to go anywhere, mate. You'll have to get. You have to get on the computer bus.
Can Siri sort it out for me? Do you reckon if I plug her in, she'll hook me up with that?
Siri is in trouble for not saying... I don't know why Siri's the only one taking the rap. Turns out we've all been... Hang on a second, let me just try the age detector on JJ. JJ, who's Barbara Streisand?
She's a big nose girl, isn't it?
She's the big nose girl. And it turns out that Siri has been pronouncing her name wrong.
What?
Yeah.
How is she pronouncing it?
Well, Siri pronounces it the way that everybody... Well, Siri pronounces it the way that...
Does she pronounce it Barbara?
No, surprisingly, it's not the Barbara bit she's getting wrong.
What?
She pronounces Streisand the way that 70% of the world pronounce Streisand. And here's something for people of a certain age. Do you know how the other 30% of the world pronounce Streisand?
No.
Barbara Streisand. They do, don't they? I've not heard that for ages. I remember in my newsagents, years and years ago, like 20 years ago, someone had in the ads pair of tickets for Barbara Streisand. I thought, flipping heck. But no, it turns out, right...
That's a theme park, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's a theme park, Streisand. It's good, that. Like Dollywood. It turns out it's not pronounced Streisand or Streisland. It's pronounced Streisand. So it's an S. It's a soft S, not a Z. Streisand.
But if Mans is pronouncing it Streisand, right, then that's the way it's pronounced.
Well, no, you can't say, JJ, that
if 70% of Mans is saying it's Streisand.
No.
Becomes that by
you can't just say because a massive number of people are getting it wrong that means it's right. You can't do that.
Yeah, true that.
But so she phoned up the head of Apple, Steve Jobs, R.I.P., right?
Tim Cook stuff.
Tim Cook, exactly. She phoned up a robo Steve Jobs. Hello, I am Steve Jobs. I am robo Steve Jobs version 2.2. How may I help you? And she said to Cook, she said, right, I'm Barbara Streisand, right? Not Streisand, not Streisand, not Streisand. Can you change Siri so that it says my name right? And he was like, ugh. So the new update for Siri in September for at the Apple it will pronounce it Barbara Streisand.
So is that like a thing that we can all do now? If Siri's pronouncing something wrong, we can phone up Tim Cook and tell him to fix it. Is that?
Well, she's certainly set the precedent for it, so I would certainly give it a go, JJ, yeah.
Safe.
I would give it a go, JJ. I think you should phone up Tim Cook.
I ain't got his number, though.
We'll find it for you. It's, hang on a minute. Hang on, Tim Cook number. Hang on a second.
Don't say it on the radio, man. He's going to get all these...
We can trust most people.
Safe, yeah. There's only me and you listening.
Right, have you got a pen and paper?
Yeah.
It's 0345...
Yeah.
60.
Yeah.
60.
Yeah.
973. And if you phone up and ask for Tim Cook, you'll get put straight through.
Then I get James O'Brien on that too.
Well, one of the two, and they'll both be able to help you.
All right.
Did we get to the point of this call, JJ?
Yeah. Well, no, I think the point is to have a conversation, my friend, and I think we're having that. So
yes,
we've done the thing about I listened to you and I'm glad to find you. We've done the thing about I wanted to talk about robot cars. We've done that.
Yeah.
Here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to thank you for the years of entertainment.
Oh,
That's what I wanted to do.
Oh, shut up. I'm not taking that one. Shut up. Move on. I'm not taking it. I'm giving it back. Move on. Nothing to see here.
Film ring. It's a good idea, man. I think you should carry on with that. I watched Kung Fu Elliot off the back of your show, and it was a bit odd, I've got to say. But I wouldn't have I would never have watched it if you hadn't have.
You know that we spoke to Elliot the other night.
I heard this,
and I'm deliberately not calling him up on the radio because that was it. You should have been there on Sunday night, guys. I may play the audio out because I've got it recorded somewhere. But
that'd be nice. Yeah. And also that bird, that singer bird that you've been talking about, yapping on about for the last few weeks. She's good as well, man.
Imani Coppola. Yeah, JJ, listen, I'm going to cut you off now.
Safe.
There we go. Yes. I just felt we were kind of disappearing up our own fundaments. Will, stay there. You shall be next if you'd like to be after Will. We'll start the show in a bit. I feel like we're just kind of doing, I don't know, some business. There's a lot of business in the first hour and 15 minutes, not spoken to about anything that I wanted to speak about. But if you want to call in, you can do 0844 499 1000. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio. Dearie me. So, I went to see the new Beatles film. Kath, do you want to come in and we'll do the we'll talk about that, because we went to see the new Beatles film. There's a documentary out, and even the most casual listener will know I heart the Monkeys. Sorry, I'm just because I'm looking at an email about Monkeys. I heart the Beatles a lot, so I was very, very excited about going to see this film, and it was good. I enjoyed it, but it was definitely flawed. Now, you're not as big a Beatles nut as I am, Catherine.
Well, I mean, who is?
Well,
you've got that geeky boy thing where
Jeff
you know about
Absolute, Jeff
lists and that.
Lloyd and Danny Baker.
I've not taken Beatles list books away on holiday for fun, but I do like the Beatles. Yes, I do like them, and I grew up with them. Not literally; they were older than me.
It's called the Beatles: The Touring Years, and as I
it's called 8 Days a Week.
8 days a week, The Touring Years. The Touring Years is the subheading, isn't it?
Yeah.
As I suspected would be the case, because it's directed by Richie Cunningham, by the Touring Years, they mean the American Touring Years. Mm-hmm. The English tours, they were glossed over. Like, they wrote, Please Please Me, I think, on the bus with, female singer that they were
Scylla?
No, it wasn't Scylla. They were opening up for her. Big star. Anita Harris, yeah. I think they were opening up for Anita Harris, I think. And they didn't really mention any of that, and it was all... There was some nice rare footage...
You know why? Because at home they're going, who's Anita Harris?
Yeah, I know! And there was some nice footage of them in Sweden, which I hadn't seen before, and there's a couple of bits of cine film that I'd not seen before.
From the moment it started, I had a big grin on my face, because it starts with them sort of chatting to each other, and it's, those voices, and, if you're of our generation, it's kind of, it reminds you of your dad, because your dad, in my case, my dad was the one that kind of was the Beatles influence and stuff, and so, it felt great. It felt like kind of old friends. But there were bits in there that needn't have been in there, and I'm not really sure what they added.
Why was Elvis Costello there? Why was there some author doing a talking head? Why was Eddie Izzard doing a talking head?
Yeah. Was it Tim Curtis? Is that his name?
Why?
The comic relief guy?
It was just like, we didn't need those.
Don't need their memories of the Beatles. Loads of people remember the Beatles. We don't need people to ram home just how much they meant to them as children.
And they'd committed the sin, which ever since they did it with Laurel and Hardy in the 80s, yes, technology has come a long way, but it still looks pony.
Yeah, it didn't look like it.
They'd colourised some of the black and white footage, the footage of the Washington concert where Ringo's turning the drums around. It's a very the whole concert is available to see, and it's famously in black and white. Every time you colorise footage, people look ginger.
Well, they all had the same hair colour.
Yeah.
That kind of, the kind of colour that McCartney's hair's gone recently.
He's wearing a wig now, isn't he?
Well...
As soon as McCartney popped up on the screen, and I have so much love and respect for McCartney's, so this is me being slightly facile. It's obviously that he dyes it, and that's fine, because in the 80s he was going grey, and then it's fine, he dyes it. I think it's a syrup that he's wearing. A good one, a very good one.
Well, he can afford the best.
But, so could Brucey, but yeah, he still bought a cheap one.
Brucey's been thinking he's been fooling us for years, though, hasn't he?
I think McCartney wears a wig.
Well...
Ringo looks... I mean, they both look good. I mean, and then the big... so kind of... And also, literally nothing of Pete Best, and yet he played... They mentioned Hamburg, and he played in Hamburg. Ringo didn't play the first run of Hamburg. I think he did the second or the third, if there was a third. He did the last one. So no mention of Pete Best.
No Jimmy Nicol, but he's in it.
Jimmy Nicol, I mean, he's an obscure Beatles figure, but he was in the Beatles for a few weeks when Ringo was ill. He had his tonsils removed, I think, and the Beatles played Europe, Ed, Will and Jonathan, I'll come to you in a bit. Ed, there's Europe and Australia, and Jimmy Nicol was the drummer for a lot of those dates. And you saw him, but there was no mention of it. The Manila incident, where the Beatles got beaten up by security and had all their money stolen.
Because they refused to go and eat dinner or something with the
Imelda
Marcuses.
Marcus. Yeah, that got 30 seconds, and they didn't give you the meat. It didn't give you the meat of the story, which is a great story, terrifying story.
It was just before I'm Bigger Than Jesus, so it was like their first experience of saying the wrong thing, saying the quote unquote wrong thing.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it a lot. Right, I enjoyed it a lot. I won't buy it on DVD when it comes out.
I will.
If I got it as a Christmas present from the boys, beautiful. I'd love it, and I'd certainly watch it again.
I loved it. I didn't want it to finish, but mostly because I was enjoying watching the Beatles.
Here's the thing: we've worked out scientifically using an engorgeometer as to when McCartney's the hottest, and it's the rooftop concert. Let It Be, 1969. He's a bit chubby. He's got a beard, full thick beard, chubby, long greasy hair, and he's wearing a black suit and a white shirt.
Yeah,
he looked absolutely delicious.
Meanwhile, John, who I'd always favoured, he's proper gone like Catweasel.
The
then.
heroin. And the thing I don't like about John Lennon and Let It Be, and it's such a minor thing, right, but throughout pretty much all of Let It Be, it's there, and it really bugs me. And if you ever watch it, now I'm saying this, you'll not be able to unsee it, right? On his Adam's apple, he's got a shaving cut.
Oh.
And it just really...
I didn't see that.
It's just the whole thing, and it's there, and Yoko sat there with her shopping. And,
that was my favourite detail that I spotted.
But,
Yoko sitting on the roof with a great big shopping bag at her foot.
She did have her shopping. But I enjoyed it. Helen Shapiro, thank you. Helen Shapiro, thank you. Helen Shapiro. I enjoyed it. We got freebies, which is great. I know they're showing at some of the cinemas where they're showing it. They're also showing the full Shea Stadium concert, which is a great concert to watch. Yeah. Oh, I like that.
But the Beatles didn't hear it, so.
I know, but you can hear it. You can hear it.
They boosted it.
And they're releasing the Live at the Hollywood Bowl album again for the first time in about 40 years. So it's exciting. It's exciting times.
I would have liked it because he couldn't do much wrong with it. As long as it had plenty of Beatles in it, I would have enjoyed it. But yeah, like you say, there was bits in it that didn't need to be there.
I'd have liked more from McCartney and Ringo, actually. Quite a bit more. And also, I would have liked more from Lennon and Harrison. They only seem to use 2 interviews of Lennon and Harrison, and I know definitely the George Harrison stuff was taken from the Beatles anthology, and I don't think there were even outtakes from the Beatles anthology, so it's stuff that
you'd already seen.
Is quite well known, and there is literally, weeks of footage of particularly Lennon being interviewed. Lennon was always banging on about the Beatles in the 70s, and it would have been nice just if they'd done a bit more work and dug a bit deeper. It was Hollywood. It was a Hollywood movie.
It was, but I thought the Talking Heads made it a bit telly.
Yeah.
It was like Lifetime Presents,
Yeah, well.
But it was all right. I enjoyed it.
And if anyone else wants to send us to a free movie, then we'd be happy to go. Thanks. You want to stick around?
Go on, then.
Hello, Will.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Will.
How's it going?
It's all right. What you got for us, Will?
Yeah, I'm ringing up just off the back of Paul Akinbola's phone call. I'm enthralled, and I can't wait to find out what happens in this alternative reality where Thames TV is taken over by Sky.
Now you're right. Now, so this is my time travel movie that I'd like to make. No, what? No, why are you saying that?
Well, I mean, anything that involves, I know, Kath, why don't we transport ISIS back to Victorian times?
Well, why don't you just give away the basic plot of the film? So here's the plot of the film, Will, right?
Okay.
ISIS, right? They get and it's the thing is, there are so many movies where the Nazis get time travel technology. I'm just updating it a bit, right? ISIS here's the scenario, right? What's the most terrifying thing that could happen in the world? I'll tell you what it is. It's ISIS getting access to top secret time travel technology that the Russian government have got. So the Russian government have got time travel technology, right? They give it to ISIS on the promise, right, that when ISIS go back in time, Ed, there's a phone call, that when ISIS go back in time, they do something for Russia, so it helps Russia out. I don't know what it is, right? So ISIS
Why would Russia need their help? Russia are pretty good on their own.
Well, because they're scared to test the time travel machinery. So ISIS are their guinea pigs, right? But so ISIS, they go back in time, Will, but they go back in time to Victorian London. Now, just imagine it, right? So it's ISIS, right? And they've got all of the accoutrements, the suicide belts, the bombs, all of that stuff, but in Victorian London. And you've got these Victorian bobbies. I tell you what, it's a very similar premise to, there's a brilliant Japanese film. It goes under two names. It stars Sonny Chiba. One name is Time Slip. The other name is the excellent Samurai GI. And basically, the Japanese army from the late 70s fall through a time slip and they end up on an island, in like the 1700s with a shed load of samurais, right? And the samurais are like, "What, you get off our island, we're going to do..." And they've got a tank and a helicopter and loads of machine guns. And so they shoot all the samurais up. And basically they become friends with the samurais until they run out of petrol for the tank and the helicopter and bullets for the guns. And then the samurais have them. So it'll be kind of like that. But a lot bloodier. A lot bloodier.
I think the ramifications of Sky buying Thames in 1992 could be far greater than that, to be honest.
I agree.
Yeah. I think you should take Paul Akinbola's idea and run with that. Bring him on as
of all the times to go back when Carlton bought out Thames. I mean, it was
They didn't buy them out, Ian Lee.
What did they do?
They won the franchise.
All right, they won the franchise. I mean, it is, even at the time I remember thinking, so...
it's obviously something that stuck in his mind, along with the idea of having a lot of hunky men round to his house.
Exactly.
To do man is something he won't let go, isn't it?
He needs to let go.
I think the ramifications of Paul Akinbola getting a time machine could be far worse than ISIS getting one.
Okay, well...
it could potentially be a far darker universe.
Well, let's hope we never experience either.
You know that time travel is possible. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, as long as you're speeding up light and all that.
Yeah. All you need...
all right, Stephen Hawking, thanks for the explanation.
No, he's spot on. And the only thing that is... Well, two things are stopping us, and Paul Akinbola was right. One is the money. Two is just the energy. The amount of energy that you would require to do it is phenomenal. And this is absolutely true, once scientists work out... Instead of doing surveys about is your 10 ways to know if your dog is a homosexual or which margarine tastes better in the blindfold test, once they put that to one side, once they work out how to generate the incredible amount of energy that is required, time travel's going to happen.
I know you always say this, that they're concentrating on the trivial.
Yeah.
But that's the way they're raising money for these big projects.
Yeah,
know that, don't you?
I don't know the finances.
But if time travel happens, it has already happened.
Yeah.
So you could be a time traveller.
Could be.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm here to stop them inventing time travel. All paradox.
Okay.
Because I know what happens in the future.
Do you remember the documentary you did about video games about 15 years ago?
Yes, I do, yeah.
I really enjoyed that, by the way. I found it on a torrent site about 10 years ago, and I watched it about 20 times over about a year.
Bless you, man. Thank you. I was very proud of that. Thank you.
Yeah, but maybe that was what you did. You went back and got a time machine, and
maybe I went back.
Guy was, and
maybe I went back and I made it so that Carlton won the franchise over Thames TV. Maybe I've done that. And everyone says, time travel can't be possible because they'd be here now. Well, first of all, maybe they are here now. Secondly, we have no idea what little nudges they've done to affect the future. And thirdly, why would they come back to 2016? What a ridiculously... And then we all go, but Brexit, and Trump. But you just pull the camera back and pull the camera back. In the whole great scheme of time, it's nothing, man. It's absolutely nothing.
But why would they not why would we not have that technology now? I don't understand that part.
What technology?
Why would they not go back? So somebody in the future has a time machine.
Yeah.
They come back here... We then have a time machine. It's like the pyramids thing. How are the pyramids here? We have the pyramids. They happened somehow.
Yeah.
We'd now have a time machine. No.
No. Because the people in the future, it's not like you buy a car and you go for a drive and you go for a drive to 1607. It's not like that. the time, the laws that will be put in place in the future to prevent people from misusing time machines are so strict that it's really, you know, it's like when you're in school. How old are you, Will? 38?
No, I'm 27.
Flippin', you got an old man's voice. You know, you won't remember this, but Cathwell, right?
Not being allowed beyond the trees.
No. In school, right? If you wanted to get the video recorder in the TV, you had to go to the head of tech. You had to get the key for the cupboard. You have to wheel it out of the cupboard. Then you have to lock the cupboard. Then you take it to the classroom. Then you go and give the key back to the head of tech. Then you'd have to get the key to unlock the door behind the video box and stuff like that.
And then you have to write in the book that you had it.
Yeah. It's the same for time machines. In fact, it's pretty much in the future. It's about 500 years in the future.
It takes one rogue, doesn't it? That's the premise of Doctor Who. Well, sort of the premise.
Well,
he's the rogue. He's the one who's going out, and luckily he's doing it as a force for good.
Well, but then you've got the Master. You see?
Yeah, exactly. And then but it would only take one ISIS Master, and then they would destroy everything.
Thank you. You see?
And that was the moment you gave them the idea.
Will gets it. ISIS have been working on time travel for. You just think they're crazy guys in camos, you know, blowing up things and destroying artworks. Did you hear the guy in court? It wasn't The Hague, but it was in one of those courty things, and he was ISIS. It was this week, and he got done for destroying loads of like art treasures and stuff. I think in Timbuktu.
Right.
He was singing like a canary in the courtroom. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to destroy all those pictures and all those works of art. Oh,
his foot slipped.
I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. You baby. Listen, if you're going to destroy like works of art like thousands of years old, man up. Man up. And take responsibility for it. Don't in court go, oh, I didn't mean to do it. Oh, I'm sorry.
Or do that thing that the boys used to do at school when they got rumbled.
Yeah.
Don't say anything.
Yes, it wasn't me. It was Muhammad.
Oh, they say...
It was Muhammad and Akbar. They did it.
Or they say, what did you do that for? Nothing.
Either way, I don't, as you can tell, I've not quite got a grasp on the story that is perhaps relevant for that. So
but when you have...
we're going to hit the big time. Yes, Ed.
Evening, boss.
Hello, Ed. What you got for us?
Well, I wanted to talk about the Beatles film. I was in the same screening as you were tonight.
Were you there?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
Well, you should have touched me on the shoulder.
Well, you know, I was thinking about it, and then, like, it's kind of... I never want to go up and talk to famous people, because it's always kind of like, you know, it's always awkward and weird.
Well, no, it's not. It's not. I'm not famous. Come and say hello. Always come and say hello to me. I had a nice chat with a bloke called Tom there, who works for Reader's Digest, and he was a big fan of Andy Partridge, and he said, Ian, sorry to interrupt, but I heard your interview with Andy Partridge, and we just had a really nice 10-minute geek out about Partridge. It was lovely.
Oh, right, okay.
Anyway, what did you reckon, Ed?
Well, what I reckon of the film?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. So, I mean, like you, I'm like a big Beatles geek.
Yeah.
And when I heard, like, Ron Howard's making a Beatles documentary, Richie Cunningham's making a Beatles documentary, I thought, well, what's the point? Because, like, everyone's seen the Beatles anthology and, like, you know, you've got all the information you need and stuff. But then when I heard they were just doing the touring years, I thought, right, that's quite interesting, because, like, there's some stuff in there that maybe not everyone's heard of. So, like, have you read the book called Shout by, what's his name?
Philip Norman.
Philip Norman?
Yes, a long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of written around the time, and that was kind of a bit of a behind-the-scenes thing about...
That was written about 1968 or something, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Before they'd finished, they were still together when it came out.
Yeah. So it was kind of covering similar ground to that, you know, because there's some sort of, you know, backstage stuff in that kind of... Because back when they were touring, because they were being presented as the sort of lovable mop tops, and they were kind of like One Direction are now, you know, they were sort of all clean cut and stuff, but they were doing some awful stuff, you know, behind the scenes. It was all drugs and girls.
But that didn't get mentioned, the drugs and the sharing of the girls and... you know, and the violence, because there was some violence, that didn't get mentioned at all.
Yeah, no, it didn't. Like, not as much as I would have liked. But, yeah, I mean, I know what you mean in that because I saw you tweet about it and say that you replied to someone's tweet and said that you didn't learn anything new from it. So I went into it thinking I'm probably not going to learn anything new, but I might see a bit of new footage. So certainly I saw a lot of new footage that I hadn't seen before, and I was quite surprised by that. But I did learn a couple of things that I actually didn't know. So the whole thing about when they played was it the Gator Bowl in Florida?
Yeah.
And they
that was good. That was good.
Yeah, so there was going to be like a segregated audience.
Yeah.
And then they spoke out about it. And I'd never heard that before. I was completely unfamiliar with that. So, yeah, I was quite pleased that there was some actual new information in it.
But that was it, I think. That was the one story. You're right, there was some good footage from Sweden, and I know I've seen the Paris footage. There was some of the later American concerts, the Super 8 footage I hadn't seen before, but there was I'd seen quite a lot of that footage before, and I hadn't heard the thing about the segregated the concert and that, but that was it. That was the only story I hadn't heard. Now, and I know I'm a card-carrying Beatle geek, right? I know that, and it's hard for me to kind of switch that off, but I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I'm being really nitpicky, but I found it a little bit thin.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think, like, one of the things that really nailed for me was, you know how, like, in the Beatles anthology and all the other documentaries, the stuff you always get about the screaming, right, the girls screaming, you always get a lot of footage of, like, the sort of close-ups of the girls with their faces all contorted and crying and stuff. Yeah. And you're always encouraged, I feel like the way they frame it, you're always encouraged to kind of laugh at it in a way. But this time round, I thought they really nailed the fact that was kind of culturally significant, you know? Like, all these teenagers have been living in sort of post-war Britain, you know, and it was all sort of austerity and stuff. And, like, teenager was, like, quite a new term around then. I think that's kind of when the term teenager was coined. And all of a sudden, like, they had, like, an excuse to go nuts for the first time in their lives.
And I'd go further than that. I'd say for girls as well, to come out of themselves like that was something else. You know, these were girls who would generally become little women very early on, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I tell you, the footage I enjoyed the most was, I think it was the Manchester Cinema from 1963. And I've seen that before, but I've not seen that in such good quality. And I tell you what I noticed that I'd never noticed before, and it was because that was in HD, and because it was massive. All the jelly babies on the stage, because they used to chuck. Yeah, they used to chuck jelly babies, because George Harrison in an interview said once, "I like jelly babies," and so they would get jelly. And it was the first time I'd ever seen. It was all these little coloured. It looks like confetti on the floor, but it wasn't. It was jelly babies. And that was the first time I'd noticed that. But I didn't like the colourised stuff, Ed. I don't approve.
It was a weird choice, wasn't it? Because I noticed that as well. And you're right when you said, I think you said earlier that it makes them look ginger. I think, like, that concert from, I think it was Washington, was it the one where they had to turn the drums round?
Yeah, and that's a great concert, and there's more brilliant footage of, like, every couple of songs, Ringo gets up and he has to move the drums around.
Yeah, because I've seen that before and I thought it was just like a revolving stage, but obviously not. No. It must have been that. But yeah, the choice to, like, colorise old black and white footage, like, I don't know why you'd do that. I mean, it was a bit distracting. I imagine a lot of people watching it just won't notice, but, like, I don't know why as a filmmaker, I guess he must have been thinking to himself, maybe it's a bit jarring.
He was thinking Americans don't like black and white. That's what he was thinking. A big movie, it needs more colouring.
But the people he's appealing to, you know, with the talking heads, they weren't to try and catch the bright young things, you know, the millennials who won't be used to seeing black and white. We all know it was in black and white. In fact, we probably wouldn't have even noticed it.
America is a different country, and and what was it, 100-minute long movie, nearly 2-hour long movie. To have it that much black and white, you can't sell it.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Well, maybe, but I mean, you think about, like, the George Harrison documentary, you know, the Scorsese one. I mean, that's full of black and white footage.
No, it's not.
I mean, you know,
it's not. I watched that the other day. Surprisingly, a massive amount of that is in colour.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know that because I watched it literally 2 weeks ago, and a lot of that is in colour. And also, I wanted to see. We'll move away from the geek off in a second. I just thought it was really lazy use of Harrison and Lennon footage from two interviews. That was it.
Yeah, well, because a lot of the Harrison stuff was anthology outtakes, wasn't it?
Yeah, lazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky, I suppose, to get. I mean, because obviously with both of them, there did come a certain point at which you couldn't really interview them anymore, you know.
No, but there was so much more footage of Harrison in the 70s talking about, touring and stuff and how he hated it and all. I just thought they found two good interviews and they've nicked bits out of that.
I tell you what I did think was new.
Yeah.
The US journalist that they spoke to.
Oh, yeah.
That had been on tour.
He's coming on this show, hopefully.
Oh, really?
Yeah, hopefully,
I've never heard of that guy before.
No.
Yeah. No, I hadn't, and I thought he was. I thought he was a really good addition to the story.
Because he was very, very straight, wasn't he? Hanging out with the Beatles.
I don't know. The next time I met them, I was surprised to find they were very high on marijuana. Ed, listen, I've got to move on. Thank you for that. Tris and Barry, stay there. 0844 499 1000. Did Paul Ross just say that he's got the Four Seasons singing live in the studio?
He's got the Jersey Boys cast, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay. In that case, we'll let him have that one.
The Faux Seasons.
Barry's in Malaysia.
Hey, man. Hold on a second.
What?
Take it off of speakerphone.
Okay.
Is there an echo on your end, or is it just my end?
It's just your end that's echoing.
Okay, and this is not live.
Well, hello?
Hello?
Yes? Are you actually in Malaysia?
I am in Malaysia.
What are you doing in Malaysia? Oh, is this concert Barry?
No, it's not. It's the other Barry.
How can I have... His name's not Barry, the other fellow, actually. How can I have two listeners in Malaysia?
I don't know. It's the first time I've ever used this thing, and so... I don't know, I was trying to get used to it, and you had offered to call someone back. I thought, okay, that's the easy way to figure out how this works.
So hang on, have you found us via Periscope or something?
Something like Periscope.
Something like
Periscope.
Wow, that's mysterious. What you got for us, Barry?
And could be including Periscope.
Oh, so
listen, I wanted to ask you a question, man.
Yes, man.
I wanted to ask you a question. This is a kind of a quiz, because you're in England, right? You're from England, Great Britain. And I was going to give you a clue, but the clue would give it away.
Okay.
So, can you tell me where Encyclopedia Britannica was founded, since you're British? I'm British, too, by the way, although I sound like an American.
You're not British.
I was born in London, buddy. That's pretty bloody British.
Well, if you were British, you wouldn't be such a knob.
Merely born. Oh, come on. Brits are knobs. Known knobs.
Okay. Well, I'll deal with this, don't worry.
Where's Britannica? Where's Britannica from?
I haven't got a clue. I haven't got my encyclopedia.
You have no idea.
To
come on, man. This is like the crown jewels of the United Kingdom. Aren't y'all known? Aren't we known to be...
I never assumed that the Encyclopedia Britannica was English. I always thought it was American.
Britannica? Doesn't that give it away? Britannia?
No.
What kind of a Briton are you?
Yes. I'm not as annoying as you are. I'm
sorry.
No, it's too late for that. It's too late for that.
Okay.
I always assumed they were American.
Well, they were actually bought by an American company much later, but they were founded in, I guess, the early 1900s or late 1800s in Edinburgh. Is it Edinburgh or Edinburgh? And that is in Britain.
Right.
Isn't it? No, it's not. It's in Scotland. It's part of the United Kingdom.
Well, it's in Scotland, so it's still in Britain, yes. Try and keep up.
Britain,
it's not
that's
that difficult to follow.
Yeah,
so when did the Americans buy it?
Do you remember Encyclopedia Encarta? You remember that?
No.
Do you remember? It was a Microsoft attempt.
Okay.
Major mergers in maybe 90s. But listen, I wanted to ask you, since you've never heard of Britannica, since you didn't know, it is a well-known
when do we get to
educational resource.
The fun part. I know what Encyclopedia Britannica is. I've heard of Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yeah, so I was working with an organization. We've done surveys across the world in 4 regions.
Yeah.
And we're sampling people, asking parents and children, have you heard of any encyclopedia? Do you even know what an encyclopedia
and do you ask them?
is?
Do you ask them in this patronising, condescending tone?
No, not at all.
Okay,
I would ask them seriously. Look, what is it that
that's
you?
cool,
What resources
if
do
you
you
were
have
speaking
access
to children and parents like this, I'd be pretty.
I wouldn't do that, man. But you're an adult, and you're a talk show. You're a thick-skinned guy. You got thick skin, and so we asked so many people about.
Still not nice to be rude, though. Is it? Still not nice to be rude, though, is it?
I'm trying to be polite, Ian.
Wowzers! This is.
Come on, man.
I'd hate to hear it when you were trying to be rude. Okay, so you talk to parents.
That's what my kids say. That's what my kids say.
Got kids,
and I try not to be rude. I mean, not rude. I mean, harsh and rude. Stern stern, sometimes come across as rude. So, right, we've been speaking to
brusque.
Parents,
I would say brusque.
Brusque. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't. It's certainly not physical violence, is it? Anyhow, let's get back to the point.
I didn't realize there was a point.
Yeah, the point is there's a deficiency out there, and it's a real and it's
a deficiency of manners.
And it's amazing that Periscope exists, and many kids are now looking at this as a platform, as a tool. But most. Can
I ask you a question?
Surely, ask me a question, man.
What the hell are you talking about?
Education. I think I was trying to make the point about education.
Let's hear the point.
Right. So the point is that the mass majority of kids in England and worldwide, globally, between the ages of 8 and 13, have no real digital resources to turn to when they want to research and explore. Sending them to YouTube or Google or Wikipedia
they have the internet.
Are insufficient. Right, so that's a very good point, but the internet is too broad of a term.
Hang on a minute, are you trying to sell me something?
No, not at all. I'm just explaining to you what we've uncovered in our research, that kids, because of a lack of awareness, they're not aware that certain tools, and parents aren't either, that certain digital tools exist. And they're very inexpensive tools. And unfortunately, these tools are only available through schools. And so if the initiative isn't taken at the level of the schools, the kids won't get it. They don't have access to it. And so they spend their weekends and their evenings and summer breaks without access to real educational tools.
What are these real educational tools, Barry? And are these the things that are these?
One of them.
Hang on, shut up. Are these are these tools provided by the company that you work for?
No, I don't. I work for a foundation. I don't work for any organization. We're on an awareness
foundation. Here we go, and we just heard it there.
Yeah, so I'm plugging in something. I mean, I'm saying, I'm trying to create awareness. Talk radio.
But, can I suggest
generate awareness?
Yeah, can I suggest that a way to create awareness is not to be rude to the producer when you phone up, and then.
I wasn't rude to the producer.
Yes, you were.
I asked
and then
slightly,
not to be
how long
rude.
Should I expect
and then not to be rude. And then not to be rude to the host when you come on. And a foundation is an organisation.
Pardon me. Forgive me, and pardon me. I didn't mean to be rude, and I wouldn't have told you to shut up. And so I just wanted to just see if you had any thoughts about that.
Yeah,
how can we go about raising awareness?
We don't need to, because we don't need to direct people to your product.
It's not my product. I don't own these products, man. These are.
You just work for a foundation. You just work for a foundation that where you phone up talk radio shows to promote this tool that you have access to.
Educational awareness.
Educational awareness tool that you have access to that we don't have access to, but we can have access for just $9.99 a month.
No, of course not. No. This is supposed to be provided to kids through schools, as I mentioned.
But Barry, you're coming from a point of
library.
Barry. I encourage my. Do you know what I bought? Do you know what I bought my eldest boy about 3 months ago? I'm going to tell you, Barry. I'm going to tell you.
Tell me.
And it's going to shut down your argument.
I don't have an argument, but go ahead. Tell me.
I bought him an encyclopedia.
Brilliant.
I bought him an actual
a physical one.
Yeah, a book encyclopedia, and he's 6. So
that's amazing. That's.
Yeah. So listen,
you're one of the very few parents.
Can I give you Barry? Listen, I don't know how old you are, man, and I don't know what you do, because you're kind of skirting around the issue, and you won't tell me what you do in this foundation and stuff. Can I give you a tip?
Tell me. Give me a tip. I'll take your tip.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. Just stop being so sarcastic and don't have an attitude. And you know.
I'm not trying to be sarcastic.
No, I know, mate. But you've come across with an attitude, and you've come across a bit up yourself, and it just turns people off, man. It turns people off. People will be much more interested in listening if you come across as less pompous.
Okay.
Okay. So can you take that with you? Yeah. Remove pompous. Yeah.
Remove pompous.
All right, Barry. Thanks for calling, man.
Hey, man, good luck with your show. I mean that sincerely. Good luck. Great job. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
I mean... Anybody? He was
like that from the get-go with me as well. Yeah, hi, I'm calling from overseas. Okay, yeah, what's your name, please? Oh, my name's Barry. Do you have... I've got your number, yeah, I'll give you a call back. Oh, are you going to leave me waiting a really long time? Because I've got other things to do today, is what he said to me. But that's not rude, is it?
I mean, I just... here's the thing. I don't work for an organisation. I work for a foundation. Well... Dude, if you look that up in an encyclopedia, either physical or online, you'll see that a foundation is an organisation.
Also, do you know what? The internet's pretty good. It's quite thorough.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to pay for anything extra.
You can... The thing, I bought my eldest this beautiful... it's a picture encyclopedia, but it's beautiful, and it's really well done, and it's stunning, and it's great. It's one of those things, you could look stuff up in and think, oh, what's this? Where do diamonds come from? I'll have a look. Or you just flick through it and go, oh, man, look at this spaceship. Oh, look at... it's brilliant. And we'll just sit there and we'll flick through it. But also, when they're older, not now, but when they're older, I will teach them how to explore the internet and how to ask questions and to, the answers that come back. But also, they can go to a library. I didn't have a clue what he was talking about.
It was a long preamble about the Encyclopedia Britannica, and the way he phrased it was just...
He sounded like, in the 50s and 60s, the kind of guy that would rock up at your door.
Yeah.
I'm not selling anything.
But I'm going to make you feel stupid in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You feel like you have to buy something from
or, when you go to talks from people who know stuff, they're going to impart knowledge. You get these free talk on how you can make money out of your property. Free talk. And you go and it's a free talk for an hour, and then you've got to sign up £600 course or something. It sounded... If anyone...
If that's his job...
Yeah. If anyone has a clue what that guy was talking about, I nearly saw then. People being rude on Periscope. I'll block them. If anyone has a clue, everyone is welcome to call. I just, don't be rude to Catherine and don't come on and have an attitude. Really, we'll see. Right. Gosh, it's 12 o'clock. Lee and Trish have been waiting for ages. Trish will be next, then it'll be Lee, then it could be you, dear listener. 0844 499 1000.
Talk Radio.
Last hour of the show, we will carry on talking about whatever it is we've been talking about. I can't really remember. 0844 499 1000. We call you back. And if you want, you can watch on Periscope as well. Periscope.tv/Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Here's a message from the Haters Club, dedicated to the one I love. I've been cursed by your wicked kiss. Once felt it's forever missed, forever missed. I'm a member of the Haters Club, and I'm hating every minute of me without you, you without me. Give me some of that misery. I'm jinxed with the curse. I got nothing but bad luck. Could I be superstitious? Don't blink, cross my heart, hope to die. Why's your love so vicious, 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 vicious? I'm a high hater. I run with the best like Darth Vader and the Witch of the West, poisoning apples to make you ill, like Cruella de Vil. I'll set you up for the kill. Hater, I run with the best like Darth Vader and the Witch of the West, poisoning apples to make you ill, like Cruella de Vil. I'll set you up for the kill.
0844 499 1000. Little Jackie, aka Marnie Coppola, Haters Club. Tris.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 Tris. How you doing, man? So I've just been hit by a wave of exhaustion. And I know tomorrow, I've got to do the job I'm putting off. I've got to mow the lawn tomorrow. I've got to mow the lawn. And then we've got this weird little awkward bit out the front that kind of is not a lot, but involves the big extension lead because it runs down the side.
You're going to strim it?
No, I'm not going to strim it.
You're going to get the choppers out at the end?
No. I'm just going to get the lawnmower out and I'm going to blitz it. I hate it.
Do you do the stripes?
No, I don't just stripes up, stick them up my backside. Hate it. It's the worst possible job known to mankind.
Our lawn's been full of like orange, not daffodils, but like a yellow daisy type thing.
Oh yeah, daisies that would be.
No,
probably.
yellow though.
Yeah, the daisies are yellow.
No. Daisies have got a yellow in the middle and they're white on the outside. No, these aren't daisies.
Yeah.
I'll take a picture.
Oh, don't bother. I'm not gonna. Why would I want to see that? Anyway.
In case you get them.
I'm tired, and I've got to drive home, and then I've got to get up and I've got to do that tomorrow. And everyone's coming home on Saturday, right? And I'm really looking forward to seeing my boys. I miss them terribly.
Oh, that's going to be lovely, though, isn't it?
That'll be lovely. But and we get a lovely welcome at the airport when the boys come. Lovely, two young boys running at you and jumping.
Yeah.
So I'm picking them up at 10. I'll be bored of them by 10:30.
Yeah. They're annoying, aren't they, kids?
Yeah, they are annoying, and I'll be regretting not being able to watch TV.
I'm going to have a house full tomorrow.
Well,
My
what's
birthday
happening?
mum tomorrow.
Hey.
The cake is made. I managed to keep it secret. It's in the kitchen underneath a big box with something heavy on it so they can't see it.
Yeah.
She doesn't know what she's having. I don't tell them the theme for their parties.
Oh.
I say parties. We do the old-fashioned cheap version of a
Yeah.
party in that they have their cousins round and they eat cake.
When
we don't do presents. Well, we do presents. We don't do pass the parcel and all that stuff.
When does this summer holiday end? And when do they go back to school?
Oh, it's going on forever, isn't it?
I'm supposed to be off next Tuesday. Tuesday next week. 'Cause I'm supposed to be going to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Liverpool! To see one of the monkeys at the Cavern. And do you know what?
It's not the Cavern.
No, it's not the Cavern. It's the other side of the road. I don't think I can be bothered. And I've got the tickets, and the tickets are quite... 2 tickets are quite expensive. And me and my mate Watko and my friend Glenn are going to go, and I was going to meet an old college friend up there as well, and I can't be bothered.
Yeah, but you'll regret it the next day if you don't go.
I will regret it the next day if I don't go. But I don't
you'll
know...
have a nice time if you do go.
Well, the thing is, right, it's a 4-hour drive there, right? So it's a long old drive. And I would have to drive, because I'm not staying there. So I've got to drive. And the show will be 90 minutes tops. You drive back. I just think I can't be bothered.
See how you feel on the day. But I'd go if I were you.
Well, I might do.
I mean, this is how I was feeling on Sunday coming up to you guys. But it was a 5-hour round trip, which is
truth.
But don't you find, Tris, the best nights are the ones you're not really that up for? Because you've got no expectation.
Yeah, absolutely. And once you're there, you think, oh yeah, that's why I was excited 2 months ago, you know.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm booked to have the night off. Luckily, they've not booked anyone to replace me. Jeez. Thanks, guys.
All the tapes
are all spliced together. So I can decide on the day. I don't see myself going up there, and I will regret it, and I'll be grumpy. I'm seeing the Bare Naked Ladies the week after, which will be good. But I just don't know if I don't know if I can be bothered. Anyway, what you got for us?
Well, I've been quite jealous all day thinking about you going to this 8 days a week thingy. But I'm not sure if I'm as jealous anymore. I'm not sure it's really for me.
Well, tell me why.
Well, you know, I'm too geeky, aren't I? I think I'll just come away picking holes in it. I don't like the idea of the colorized footage.
There's not a lot. I was worried that there was going to be a lot of it, and there's a bit. There's probably about 10 minutes in the whole film that's colorized.
It's noticeable,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's not every 2 minutes flashing up that way. But it's just
But part of my love of the Beatles is sort of grainy black and white footage. It's not doesn't take anything away, does it?
Nah, we're grown ups.
No, exactly. I've just been sent the Twitter of the guy that's. I still can't quite work out what he's trying to sell. The guy from Malaysia.
Oh, what was that about?
That
was strange, wasn't it?
A digital library stopped. I mean, he's selling something. And he's watching us on Periscope. Good evening, at X Kashmir X. A digital library stocked with the best academic content known to man. I would say, Tris, go and see the film because it's nice seeing the Beatles in the cinema. That's
I will do.
that's the
I mean,
thing.
I've got one of the screenings on the 15th for the Show Stadium gig as well. It's going to be 4K restoration, isn't it? It's all Giles Martin remix.
Yeah.
That'd be lovely.
Well, Studio Canal have asked me to point out that the film will be in cinemas from September 15th.
And listen, it's well worth seeing,
We
right?
enjoyed it.
It's well worth seeing. I mean, I'm being uber geeky, Beatles fan. I'm not knocking it at all. I enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. When I came out, I just thought,
Did they cover much of when they were in Japan? Because I find that period really interesting.
No, it really is. The
There's some really good footage around there as well, actually. Really well preserved footage.
They mentioned some of the political stink about them being at the Budokan and saying that it was supposed to be a cultural arena rather than something for pop stars.
They show Nowhere Man. The Budokan concert is a great. It was on YouTube, and I think they've taken it down. They've got Apple have got super hot on removing all Beatles clips from YouTube. At the
Yeah, but that probably means that there's going to be a second disc of all that sort of stuff.
You've seen live at the Budokan anyway, yeah? Yeah. Here's the thing. There's one bit at the end, right, that just made me think, oh. So they finish with the rooftop concert, right? They show a bit of the rooftop concert, and they do they mix two songs together very cleverly. But I just thought, well, there was no need to do that. They make it sound like the Beatles have segued into the second song. I can't remember what it is, and they haven't. They didn't in the thing, right? And at the end, the concert finishes, and of course, Tris, I'm going to throw you a curveball here. What does John Lennon say? It's the perfect ending to the rooftop concert. What does he say?
Oh, I hope we pass the audition.
Yeah, we go. And it got to that point, and it's fading to black. It's fading to black, and you can still hear them talking and stuff. And I thought, this will be a lovely way to end the film. It'll be John Lennon saying, well, I hope on behalf of the band, I hope we pass the audition. And it doesn't. Instead, it cuts to a completely random clip of McCartney that I've never, outtakes from the studio of him going, well, that's a good place to end. And it ends there, and I just thought, it's such a delicious, perfect ending that they had already. On behalf of the band, I hope we pass the audition. It's such a great line.
McCartney can drop something in Ron Howard's ear, though, can't he? If you want.
Yeah, I do wonder.
Macca loves being the star.
I do wonder. But it's a great, it's a really good film, and I'm sure I'll get bought it on DVD for Christmas. Beautiful. I'll lap it up. We've got, hopefully, one of the American journalists that's in the movie and went on tour with the Beatles.
Larry Kane.
Hopefully, he's going to come on the show at some point.
Okay, cool.
So we'll get an insight from him, and they show bits of Help, and I'm reminded. When I was 15, I flipping loved Help. It's a bit clunky. It's not as good as A Hard Day's Night. It's certainly dated worse, and it's incredibly racist.
What's the best Beatles film then?
Well, I mean, yeah, my favourite.
I mean, the worst is Yellow Submarine, isn't it?
No, the worst is Magical Mystery Tour. Unwatchable.
Oh, you see, I quite like Magical Mystery Tour.
Oh, it's terrible. Terrible. I guess the best, my favourite is Help, but the best is Hard Day's Night. You know, that's a bit of fun, and that sums up that period, I think, pretty spectacularly.
Yeah. How do you feel about Let It Be movie?
I love it. Well, come on, guys, sort it out, and let's have an HD release of that, so that we can all get rid of our hooky copies, our double CDs of the Let It Be movie, and a whole CD worth of outtakes that we might have in the chest of drawers underneath the TV.
I mean, every time we hit the 40th anniversary, 45th anniversary, I think, oh, maybe, but never seems to want to happen, does it?
I think it was.
I think it paints them in a bad light, doesn't it?
I don't know if it's that. I thought it's because they just kept doing rock and roll medleys, and that stuff costs a fortune.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what I thought it was just the rock and roll. Anyway, Tris, we're disappearing up our own backsides yet again. Not for the first time this evening. Tris, always a pleasure. 0844 499 1000. Jonathan, Lee, you'll be next, then it'll be Jonathan. Busy on the phones tonight. Lee, you've been waiting for ages. I do apologise, boss. What you got for us?
Hip, 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 Ian?
Hang on a second. You're going to get the... Hang on a second.
Eh?
Say that again?
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip. There we go, you see. You've actually got the future King of England himself saying it to you.
Famous.
Where are you? Are you in like a hairdryer or something? It's very windy there.
Oh, is it? Really?
Hang on, be quiet. Where are you? Are you like on a moor or something?
I've got a ceiling fan on. Let's turn that off. Hang on. I don't think you can hear that, can you? I can hardly hear it.
What is it you've got turned on?
A ceiling fan. You know, keeping cool.
Is it off now?
Well, it's just slowing down.
Hang on,
they slow down.
That is the noisiest thing in the world.
Really? I have to listen back to this in a minute and see what I can hear.
It's really.
I have got an awful phone. I think that's half the trouble. I need
that
to buy
might
a new
be
phone.
it. The phone combined with your noisy fan is you live in a very noisy world.
Well, I'm in Kent, you see. I'm down near Nigel. That's the problem.
Oh, in old Kent.
Yes.
What you got for us, Lee?
Anyway, last night you was talking about emojis. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes.
Now I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
When did they become emojis?
Oh.
They used to be smileys 15 years ago. Then they become emoticons.
Yeah.
Now apparently they're emojis.
Yeah, they were emoticons, weren't they, for a long time?
I still prefer smileys myself.
I don't like them.
No?
Use words. Use words.
Yeah, it's a Twitter generation, though, isn't it? 140 characters.
As we've established already this evening, Lee, that young people don't have access to good online information.
He was a fun character.
He was on... Periscope has crashed, guys. I'm trying to get it up again, but I don't know if I'll be able to before the end of the show. But he was on there. And everybody is welcome, and I do worry sometimes that some people might think I'm giving other people a hard time, but I just think if you come on with an attitude... and he was rude to Kath, and so I was aware of that. But if you come on with an attitude... we don't like that. It's kind of hard for me not to come back with an attitude. And
you did it very well.
I'm trying to learn after listening to Howard Hughes at the weekend, where he had that numpty on. It was such a good bit of radio. I'm trying to be a bit more like Howard and a bit more zen and let people speak a little bit longer before I put them in their place and cut them off. That's what I'm trying to do.
What was he selling anyway?
Well, we never got that. I wish he just said. Anyway, I'm selling this. I think he was selling online. I don't know if it was online Encyclopedia Britannica, but he was certainly selling online something. He doesn't work for an organisation, Lee. It's a foundation.
Maybe what he's done is he's took Wikipedia and he's printed it all.
Sometimes I bought a book on eBay, right?
Yeah.
About the monkeys. I've not seen this book before, so I bought it, right? But it wasn't a book. Someone had just printed up pages from Wikipedia and formatted it as a book.
Oh God!
And that was it. And that's a thing. And I see loads of things now where people
Wikipedia.
No, people format Wikipedia as in a book form. It's the weirdest thing, man. Because they know. Oh, comes a cup of tea. Thank you, Kath. It's the weirdest thing because they know that people will buy it.
Talking of Wikipedia, have you ever got stuck in a Wikipedia loop? When you look at one thing, and then you find yourself 2 hours later, and you're completely looking at something totally different, but you just keep clicking on links for hours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do. That is falling down the rabbit hole. I tend to do it more on YouTube. YouTube is the one where I'll want to go and see the Beach Boys live in 1974, and an hour later I'm looking at Elvis autopsy videos or something. It just you kind of start you end up quite a distance away from where you started.
Or on Wikipedia, you can click the random. I think it's a random page button, and you do get some random stuff.
But on the Google, do you still get the "I'm feeling lucky" button?
Yes, I haven't clicked it in many years.
I wonder. Yeah, so that I'm feeling lucky. No, I'm not feeling lucky. Google. I want to know.
It's bound to be an advert anyway. Google used to be great, but I find it's just full of adverts now.
The internet is full of adverts, and we knew it was We knew it was going to come. Years and years ago, it was free and it was wonderful and it was delightful. But advertising ends up everywhere, and advertising now feeds my children. So I saw some people on Periscope complaining about the number of ads in this show. As far as I'm concerned, there ain't enough ads. The ads feed my kids. So the more ads this show gets, the better I'm doing. So I'm all up for the ads. Lee, how is the Facebook page going?
It's going good. It's going good.
Do you want to give it a little plug? Because for those who don't know, there are other shows on Talk Radio, dear listener. They're not as good as this, but there are others. And there is a delightful Facebook page set up by Lee, because it could be argued, Lee, you have no life. I would not make that.
No, that's absolutely spot on.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad to have that. I own Facebook pages as well, and that's why I know that. Where people can go and they can talk about this show and they can talk about other shows, and they can, make lots of nice friends, let's say. What is it, if people want to find it, Lee?
It is, just go to Facebook and put in the search bar Talk Radio Listeners.
Beautiful. Nice one.
And you will find us there.
Guys, I can't get Periscope up and running. The internet seems to have gone a little bit slow, so we
I have that effect on Periscope.
You see, you've done it, Lee. That's it. You've slowed down the internet.
Thank you for, sorry, just quickly, the Periscope on Sunday, it was great. I was gutted I couldn't make it.
Oh, yeah, we periscoped the film ring. Apparently people couldn't see anything, but they could hear stuff.
I couldn't see anything, but I was quite enjoying just listening to the laughter, to be honest.
Could you hear, like, the phone calls and stuff?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Brilliant, okay.
But the sound was perfect.
Okay.
Just a video.
Yeah, that's good to know. It's good to know for future reference. And I meant to there were two lights shining on the screen, and I meant to turn those off, and I think that, it's hate to say it, you might have been able to see some stuff if I'd have done that, but as long as you could hear stuff, that's
it was good, and hopefully I'm going to pop up next Friday if you've got the open studio.
September the 2nd, man, we're doing it. Everybody is invited. Remind me later in the week and we'll give more details. Lee, thank you very much indeed. 0844 499 1000. Yes, Jonathan.
Hip, 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 Ian.
Hip, 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 Jonathan.
I wanted to say filming was really, really, really fun. You and Cass did an excellent job, and you were really good interviewers as well. You had to think on the fly there. There was a lot of curveballs, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was a lot of information. Took us by surprise that evening, but it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. We had a thoroughly fantastic time.
Yeah, it was great fun. What I wanted to talk about today is how do you mingle? I find mingling one of the most awkward things to do. Like, afterwards when you go out and get a drink and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just there's always like so there's a conversation going on and you're kind of like hovering around. I really hate hovering, but it always happens. There's no easy way to sort of get someone's attention without being rude, is there?
Well, apparently there is, right? There is rudeness and there is also charm. And I've often heard this phrase, and I must have missed the day at school where they taught you how to interact with other people and make small talk. I don't know how to do it. Now, for me, an event like that, it's slightly different because I I can, at the end of it, I can come out and go, right, okay, anybody who wants a picture, if you stand there, and then we'll get through you one. And so I can kind of do that, right? So when I'm at the bar, like I was on Sunday, it was still part of the performance because it was kind of fake. It's right, if you want a picture, stand here, and if you want to come and say hello, stand here, and if you want me to sign anything, and we'll do all that. And so that's kind of fun. But in a real life situation, I haven't got a clue. And I don't know, how to do it, which is why I tend not to go to real life situations. Because I can't do it. I don't have a clue how to do it, Jonathan.
I don't really know how to do it. I'm sometimes a bit awkward, but most of the time I'm alright. I can sort of do it okay, but if someone's having a conversation, I find it really hard to just sort of hover around. And I want to say something.
Yeah.
I don't want to leap in there, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, how's this going to work? Someone's going to walk away in a second.
Hang on a minute, though. You're the guy who 6 years ago you moved to Cambridge, and on another radio show said, "Oh, I've moved to Cambridge. I've got no friends, so I'm going to be sitting at this park bench on Saturday at 1:30 if anyone wants to meet me."
Yep, that was me.
But that's nuts.
It was not. It was good. I met Flossie there. That was really unexpected. That was a really nice day, though.
Oh, Flossie. Now, was it? Oh, now Flossie. Is it the same Flossie whose dad was is it John Waite?
Yes, that's him.
This is brilliant, right? Get this, right? So this young lady called Flossie went and met Jonathan when he said he was going to be sitting on a park bench, and she was a listener to the show, and she became kind of a caller to the show, and I met her at a couple of events that I did, and her dad is John Waite, who is a journalist and a broadcaster, and quite often presents Pick of the Week on Radio 4, and he made a brilliant documentary about the time he was hitchhiking in Los Angeles in 1969, right? And he's hitchhiking with holding the Union Jack, right? And this limousine, this is such a good story. This limousine pulled up with the blacked up windows, right? And the window wound down, and this voice said, "Oh, I could never drive past a Union Jack flag. Can I give you a lift somewhere?" He got in the back. It was Davy Jones of the Monkees. It was brilliant. And he went and stayed at Davy's house for like a couple of weeks. And he made, and it's on, I think it's on the BBC iPlayer still. It's such a good documentary about him going back, obviously before Davy died, so 5-6 years ago, going back and meeting up with Davy Jones and having a chat with him. He's such an interesting and such a kind man. And I met him at a dude's, John Waite. And he gave me these books that he had that had been signed by Davy. He gave them to me, and it was thrilling. Oh. And I heard him on Radio 4 about 6 months ago, and I've still got his number. And I texted him and said, "Oh, John, you're sounding brilliant on Radio 4. We must go out for a coffee one day." And he replied, "Oh, thanks very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, we must do." And we never have. And we must go out for a coffee one day. But he's such a nice bloke. And that was how Flossie got involved in the whole, right. Brilliant. So there you go. Because of you sitting on that park bench like a numpty, I knew it. You met her, I met her, and then I met her dad. Brilliant.
There's a twist of fate.
Twists of fate, man. And this is what this is what the whole show was going to be about. Twists of fate, right? So my sister has moved to New Zealand, right? So she lives in New Zealand, and she's been there about a year, and she hasn't got many friends out there because of this thing that we're talking about. I make up, and if I'm wrong, Joanne, I apologise, but she finds it difficult to kind of make friends and talk to people, and kind of, you know, when you're dropping the kids off at school, to go and talk to the mums and stuff like that. Now, I think a twist of fate might have happened, right? But I don't know. I send her every sort of 6 weeks or so, a couple of months. I get these comics for her kids. It's cheaper to them to get all sent to me, and then every 6 weeks I bundle them up and I put them in an envelope and I send them off to New Zealand. And I put in some CDs, and I put in an Amani Coppola CD I made and some bits and pieces, and the kids made some cards. And I put my address on it, right? My name and address on it, because you do when you send stuff abroad. And I send it, and she lives at number 91, right? But for some reason, number 91 New Zealand, I've just given her address away. Sorry, guys. For some reason, I put the address wrong. I put number 90 New Zealand, right? But I didn't realise it. I sent it off. And I thought, oh, she's not got in touch to say, I know she's been away. And she came back. I thought, oh, they've not mentioned the package. Oh, well. never mind. And then today, I got a letter from New Zealand, right? And it was the guy who lives at number 90 New Zealand. And he said, hello, Ian. We just received the package that was meant for Joe. I don't know who she is. You obviously addressed it wrong. She certainly didn't live at this place. I don't know who she is or where she lives. So, here's my phone number. Here's my email address. Maybe you can get, it's a really nice package you sent full of comics and stuff like that. It obviously means it will mean a lot to someone. Could you, isn't it incredible? I'm sure he said in the letter, I only glimpsed it briefly as I was going, I'm sure he said, I'm from Britain, and we quite often get sent, packages from home, and it's nice, but if you let let this person know my address, they can come round and collect at any point. And now I'm thinking, first of all, how did I get the address wrong, right? Because I had the address written down in front of me. I've got it in an email. I always go to the post office.
90 and 91 are quite different.
Yeah, they're different, man. One's a circle and one's a line, right?
Yeah, I've seen
And
them.
now I'm thinking, and this guy is obviously an absolute gentleman or murderer. I'm hoping he's a gentleman, right? And who knows? And he lives with his girlfriend, I think he said. So that means, in my mind, I make up they're relatively young. Who knows? Maybe, my sister might make friends with them. And maybe it was meant to happen. And maybe it was my hand was guided by a higher power and it wrote a circle instead of a line. It wrote the 0 instead of the 1. Maybe these things are meant to happen. Or maybe I was just a bit hot and flustered and the boys were really annoying me in the post office and I just did it wrong. I don't know. It's one of those two things, Jonathan. It's either meant to be or it's not meant to be. One of those two.
As long as it ends well, that's all that matters.
As long as she escapes with 75% of her limbs, I'm going to count that as a success. But I thought, right, what a nice thing to do. It would have been so easy to have chucked it in the bin, or what I probably would have done.
You wouldn't have stolen it.
No, well, I've looked in it. No, I don't know if I would have done this actually for an international thing, but for a national thing, just not on this wrong address, return to sender. You can do that, can't you? Return to sender. But I just thought, and he'd handwritten. I just thought, what the time it took to write a letter and to post it. What a nice thing to do.
There are a lot of nice people out there. It's easy to forget that sometimes, isn't it?
I think most of them are arses, but there are one or two. No, you have to believe that the majority of people are nice. Jonathan, I've got to move on. Sorry, because Darren's been waiting for ages and I'm late for a break. 0844 499 1000. Oh, man alive, it's been busy on the phone. Still time to give us a call if you want. 0844 499 1000. Darren!
Hello?
Hello, Darren!
Hello, mate.
Hello, Darren.
Spoke to you before, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
I just had to take you off speakerphone. I didn't snore that time, did I?
Now, which Darren are you? Are you the one
the original?
The original Darren.
The original Darren.
The original Darren. Well, it's great to have you back on board, Darren. I'm glad you've called back because I would like to say sorry to you.
Yeah, well.
Would you like to say sorry to me?
Well, for those comments on Twitter, yeah, I would.
Okay. I accept your apology for calling me a C.
Oh, thank you very much. You know why I called you a C in the first place?
Oh, so there was a justification for calling me a C?
Well, yeah, this is attitude.
Oh, so you're not apologising for calling me a C?
Yeah, no, I apologise.
But there was justification in calling me a C.
There was, yeah.
Right, so that isn't technically by apologising for calling me a C, but saying there was a justification for calling me a C. That's not actually an apology. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to retract my apology.
Oh, are you? Oh, okay. Okay, so what? We are straight back from the the beginning, are we?
Well, we could be. We could be at peace, but you've qualified your apology. You can't qualify an apology.
But could you understand why I called you?
No.
C?
No.
What? You're joking.
No. And also, I can't understand, even more prescient, I can't understand why you can't just apologise for calling me a C.
Okay, I'll apologise. I apologise wholeheartedly.
Oh, brilliant. And I accept it and I apologise. Now, do you apologise because when you apologised online for calling me a C, you then said, but I still think you're a dick. Do you apologise for the time that you apologised for calling me a C online, but then you said you thought I was a dick?
Yeah. Do you know what that is?
Is this sounds like another qualification?
Yeah, it is. You know how
you can't qualify, Darren. You can't qualify.
Ian, you know how Ian.
An
you
apology.
Know how Twitter works. I said I apologise for calling you a C, but you're still a dick.
Yeah.
It's like my girlfriend calls me a dick. But
do you apologise without qualification? I've accepted the apology for the C, right?
You've got the hump, haven't you? You got the hump with me. You got the hump with me. You have got the right hump with me just because I called you a C on Twitter.
No, the C is gone. The C is gone. You've apologised for it. You've apologised for it. I've accepted the apology. That's fine. We're quits on that.
When was the last time you was called a dick?
Huh?
When was the last time you was called a dick? Just out of fun.
It was a fun dick.
Oh, yeah, it was a fun dick.
It was a fun dick.
You must have seen the fun dick.
It didn't. Here's the thing, and you know it. You're an intelligent guy, Darren.
I am.
You know how Twitter works. Calling someone a dick on Twitter doesn't. The fun aspect of that doesn't always come across. Particularly just after when you've called them a C.
My Twitter said,
Yeah.
I apologise for calling you a C, but you're still a dick.
Yeah, and now, that doesn't sound like fun.
Come on.
That sounded like mean.
Mean?
Mean.
Coming from you?
Mean. It was coming from you. It sounded like mean.
It started that whole conversation, whole call I made 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago was mean coming from you.
And I apologised.
Not me.
When I apologised.
Me. Well, there you go. So, I've got carte blanche then.
No, you've not got carte blanche. You would have had carte blanche. No, you would have had carte blanche if you hadn't called me a C. You see?
But I apologise. I've apologised.
I know, but then you called me a dick. So you don't have carte blanche.
I called you a knob. Not a dick.
Was it a knob? Right.
A knob.
All you've got to do is apologise without any qualification for the knob, and then we're back at square one. Then we're good. We're good.
What about you?
I've apologised. I only did one thing. I was rude to you on the phone. I've apologised for that.
What? You posted a YouTube video about me?
Yeah.
And you said, I think if you drop down the show more or whatever it is on YouTube, it says, I definitely.
I'll read what it says. Hang on a minute. Iain Lee. If you want to see it, Iain Lee, Darren on YouTube. There we go. Let's see what comes up. Iain Lee and Darren. 29th of July.
890. It's even more than Daddy Baker.
It's 879.
Daddy Baker's a hero.
Here we go. I was hosting a rather chilled show and Darren called in. This is the description, right? I don't know. Maybe we got off on the wrong foot. I misheard and thought he'd made a snoring noise.
Yes.
He hadn't.
My
bad. But.
You're bad.
I'm reading this and this shows that I'm admitting I'm wrong. But. I did detect an attitude.
Attitude? Where did you detect the attitude from? At the beginning of the call.
There it is now.
From snoring.
There it is. Maybe because I was tired.
God,
anyway,
you
it escalated.
Brilliant.
Thank you. I know. It escalated very quickly. This is still the thing. Hang on. After the call, Darren went on Twitter to call me a C.
C, yeah.
I later apologised on air. He apologised for calling me a C, but then said I was a knob. He later He later deleted his account.
Oh, that's a terrible way to call someone, isn't it?
Is your Twitter account still deleted?
It is completely deleted. The only reason why I had it, you called out my...
Why did you delete it?
My six followers. You called out my 6 followers. That's what I said. The only reason why I had followers... the only reason why I had a Twitter account... was to follow... And listen...
If it was a fun knob... You would have kept that. You would have kept that Twitter
I'm on
account.
about my Twitter account. My Twitter
exactly.
account, I had, and you called out my 6 followers.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I had a Twitter account was to follow people like you, people who I liked, people who I followed. Bob Mortimer and the 2 mics and you, and that's the only reason why I had it.
Okay, but if it was a fun knob, as you say it was, then you should have kept your Twitter account. Anyway, listen, it's fine. We're all quits, except you've just got to apologise for calling me a knob, and then we're completely quits, and then we can get to the point of your call.
Because you are a knob.
Sorry?
You are a knob, and it's a funny knob.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
I've never seen it, but it probably is a funny knob.
Wow, there's that attitude that we spoke about. I'm glad you called back, Darren. What you got for us?
I've got nothing. That's it.
Oh, you've made me laugh.
That's so funny.
Oh, you are, Darren, you knob. Hey, let's speak to you again in a few weeks.
No.
Have you never been called a fun dick before? I enjoyed that. I'm glad he called back in. He does still owe me one more apology, and then we're quits. We're quits. I apologise for my behaviour. He apologised for his without any, kind of, exactly, any kind of extra baggage attached to it. And I accepted that apology. He just needs to apologise for calling me a knob. We're away. Boom. Fun times. Les!
Ian.
Hello, Les.
Hello, Ian.
Oh, no, this isn't Les. This is Leslie. You can't type Les. Are you calling yourself Les now, Leslie?
Everyone called me Les, not Leslie, just Les.
I've always called you Leslie at the other place.
Well, I cut it short now. Waste time.
Are you dying or something?
Not really. Ian.
Yes, sir.
You once said something about on another radio station about Jamaican drink their own pee. We don't.
The what? Say that again.
Jamaican drink their own pee. We don't.
I said. Oh no! I didn't say Jamaicans drink their own pee. Somewhere, and I'm struggling to remember this.
I remember.
No. Some people, and I don't know if it was. Let's say it was Jamaicans, just for this conversation to move on, because I can't quite remember. But I remember hearing someone saying that she got her baby's nappy when it was full of pee, not poo, and would wash her face with it.
That's what we do. We don't drink it. We only wash our face because...
you only wash your face with baby's pee. That's even weirder, Leslie. That is even weirder.
No, what it is, let me explain, right?
This last hour really has been incredible. Yeah, go on, explain.
Let me explain. You know, in those days, you wake in the morning and your eyes are shut with that gooey stuff. I forgot what the name of it.
Well, it's called sleep.
Is it?
Well, what do you call it? I call it sleep.
I forgot.
Okay.
Right? And my granny used to say, wash your face with your pee, and that will cure it. That will let your eyes open. And that's what we do.
Yeah,
right?
Or you could do, what I do...
What?
Is, I just either rub my eyes, or I wash my face with water.
Water does the same trick too.
Well, why don't you use water instead of pee then?
But I'm going by what my gran said. Gran always right.
Or gran is some form of deviant. Because if water does this... Surely, if you've got an option, right? You've got an option of water or pee, right? In pretty much every situation, the best answer out of those two options is going to be water.
Exactly. But my granny always right.
So when was the last time you washed your face with pee?
When I found out water do the same thing.
And what's this? And where did I get this from, Kath? Because I remember talking about it, and I can't remember where I heard this before. Have you ever washed your face, used a baby's wet nappy as a flannel?
Have I ever do that?
Have you ever do that? Yes.
No, but I use my own pee to wash my face.
What, even now as a grown man?
No, because I know that is totally not that at the time was totally nonsense. Water would have done the same thing.
When was the last?
Jeez.
When was the last time somebody's pee touched your face deliberately?
Never.
So you've never done it?
No, that's a bit weird.
What? So what? You've never done it with your own pee?
I wash my face with my own pee. Yes.
Oh, for crying out loud, Leslie! This is like pulling teeth.
Another story, right?
Hang on. When was the last time your own urine touched your own face?
I think in the 60s when I was in Jamaica.
Oh, in the 60s. Oh, anything went in the 60s. Oh, in the 60s.
That was long, long ago.
Long, long, long ago. Right, go on. Where else you got your fruitcake?
Yeah. British, right?
Yes.
British people drink, they drink poo. Did you know that? Hey?
Did your granny tell you this? Leslie's on top form tonight.
No, I know this for a fact.
British people drink poo.
Yeah, but they don't know that they're drinking poo.
I would know if I was drinking. I don't have very many brown drinks.
It comes into a nice little bottle, right? And the wife normally buy this stuff. And one day I said to her, "You know what you're drinking in that stuff?" She said, "No." When I told her, she said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "It's nice." I said, "Oh."
What the hell are you talking about, man?
Oh, research it. I won't call the name of the drink because it's a very, very popular drink.
Is it one of those little? Is it one of those little yogurt drinks?
Yes. Oh, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's bacteria.
No, it's poo in it.
Well, are you saying it's poo in it, or it's poo?
Yeah, it's poo, isn't it? That kills your bacteria inside your gut.
But it's not like drinking a human poo.
No, it's been mixed up with different stuff.
Yeah, but not with human poo.
Cow's milk and everything to make it nice.
Yeah, but not with it's not human poo that
It is.
No, shut up, you lunatic. It is not. It is not.
Research it. You're of doing that. You research it.
I'm not going to research it because it's not true.
It's true. I think it's come from Sweden.
Well, you know, all right. Well, here's one for you. Do you ever drink those? Do you ever drink those energy drinks?
No, I refuse to drink them. I heard they can turn you into something different. Some of them can make you fly or something like that.
Well, in the energy drinks, one of the ingredients is bull's semen.
Is it?
Yes, that is true.
Are you sure?
Yes. This is a man who's just told me that those little yogurt probiotic drinks have got human poo in. He's questioning it with the fact I give him about bull semen in energy drinks.
Well, I'm a very knowledgeable person, but I've never heard of this one.
Well, you go and research it, and we'll speak next time you're doing a night shift.
Okay, we'll do it.
Thank you.
Take care now.
Thank you, Leslie. Bye-bye.
All right. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. I mean, oh, that hurt. That really hurt. I think it's true about bull semen in energy drinks. I think it is. It's a juice that comes from their testicles. This is true. I'm not even doing a thing now. One of the ingredients is something that comes from their testicles. And that is actually true. So, Leslie used to call me when I used to work in BBC local radio, right? I mean, and his calls were kind of far-fetched, but still grounded in reality. He once phoned up and confessed that he'd been speeding down the A5 because the speed cameras were all switched off or something. He said, or something like he had a reason why. Oh no, there was no speed limit on the A5. That was it. There was no speed. There was no due to a loophole in the law. I'm just remembering it now. Due to a loophole in the law, there was no speed limit on the A5. It was like exempt from your normal speeding regulations. And by the way, thank you, Ewan, for picking up that bit there. When I asked him, are you saying poo in it or poo in it? He went, poo, isn't it? Oh man, you wouldn't believe the show gets no listeners. I mean, you wouldn't believe that Ian Collins gets literally about 15 times what we get in terms of. He's not talking about poo in probiotic drinks. Oh no! Oh, now people are tweeting me saying what Leslie says is true about the yogurt. No. I don't know. I'm clutching a piece of paper. I've got nothing of any use written on it. Listen, kind of at the end of the show, a quick reminder of the podcasts. Some people messaged me earlier on saying, "Well, where's yesterday's podcast?" We're mixing things up a little bit, right? And we're going to continue to mix things up. So what we're doing now isn't what we're going to be doing in a couple of weeks. We're going to, mix things up. But the podcast is now tending to be this last hour of the show, right? And so that we can all get home at a decent time, we kind of record this last hour of the show, and then we go home, and then it gets uploaded as a podcast sort of tomorrow during the start of the show, before the show, sort of before the show. And if you go on to iTunes or your usual podcast provider and type in Iain Lee Talk, we've started to put out as well some of the interviews that we did really early on at the start of the show. Saying that, Imani Coppola is up there, August the 16th. We put that out just as the interview, and I've kind of done an introduction and recommended a few albums or a few songs that you might want to check out. So that's worth listening to. But some of the interviews that we did with, I can't remember, John Sebastian and Andy Partridge and all that, slowly, over the next couple of months or so, there's no rush, but we will kind of maybe put two interviews together. And we'll upload them so because we're getting like 15,000 downloads a day, and at the start we were only getting a couple of thousand downloads a day, so there will be people that will miss those, and I hope those that have heard them before won't object to that. That's groovy. Tomorrow's show, guys, we've got a genuine musical innovator coming on. Dean Torrance. Now, Dean Torrance from Jan and Dean, not only did he sing all the, didn't sing on all the Jan and Dean songs, actually, and there's something we might ask him. Quite often, Jan would get someone else in to sing Dean's parts. But he sang the lead on Barbara Ann, and he designed loads of really famous album covers as well in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. So, he's coming on. Ed, thank you very much. Katherine, as always, thank you. Thank you, dear listener. Back tonight at 10. Ta-ta.